forgot what day it is. But anyway, I realized I didn't send out an Easter message. But in this live stream, we're just going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about my video I uploaded. Very disappointed with it. But first of all, I want you guys to remember, we talk about Christmas, and we always say the reason for the season is Jesus Christ. Now, when we talk about Easter, guess what? The reason for that season is Jesus Christ also. Okay? And a lot of faith groups, they really celebrate the crucifixion. And I saw a great video, a little short video yesterday by Dan Bongino about crucifixion and how painful it is. And now we get the word excruciating from crucifixion. And it talks about, how that death occurs and how painful it is. Hey, Norm, let me fix my chats here real quick before I go on with that. I always forget to do that. And so anyway, that was a great little short by Dan Bongino. But, I'm a Christian, and I don't make any apologies about that. I know everybody doesn't believe the same way I do, and that's okay. But, I see in the Philippines, they concentrate, because they're predominantly professing Catholic country, and that's fine if that's what they want to do and that's what they want to be. But, they concentrate on the crucifixion, and, we forget, we don't focus enough, I think, on the resurrection. And the resurrection was, whether you believe it or not, was Jesus Christ coming back alive from the dead, okay, and triumphing over death, which is the triumph over sin and the evil things. And that was the payment that God requires for us to have eternal life. And I like to celebrate that. I don't want to recreate the crucifixion over and over again, this terrible event, which was necessary. But I want to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus, the triumphing over the grave. The battle with Satan and Jesus Christ has already won. And Jesus Christ won that many, many years ago. However many years you want to believe it is, it doesn't matter. But here's the thing. He triumphed over the grave, and he triumphed over sin. That's how we have forgiveness of sin, folks. Whether you believe that or not, someday you'll find out whether you should have believed that or not. I believe it. And that's how I live my life, and my life has been blessed because of that, and I can see changes in my life. I'm still an evil person. I don't lie to you. I still do wrong. I have wrong thoughts all the time. Make no bones about it. I'm not perfect by any means, However, I know I'm forgiven. And I want you to know that too, that you can be forgiven. Okay, enough of the sermon for today, but it's an important message. And I didn't put a special message out about Easter, and maybe I should have. But there you have it for now. Celebrate the resurrection, not so much the death. We remember the death, but remember the resurrection more, because that's the triumph. Let me shut the sounds off on my phone here if I can. Bear with me a second. Let me do that. I called James earlier. I hope he doesn't call me and kill my live stream. Call me back, but maybe he'll see that I'm live. Let's get to some of the chats real quick, and then we'll talk about what happened yesterday. Norm said, hey, Colonel. Big John Taylor. Hello, Colonel. Hey, Big John, thanks for stopping in. I don't think I've seen you before, but I appreciate you being here. I really do. That's great. I love to see new names come into the chat. I love to see the channel grow because, I like to joke around and fool around, but, sometimes I put out some information that I think can be helpful to each and every one of you. Maybe not all of you. And sometimes I come across like a know-it-all, and I don't mean to, but I just want to share my life experience, the stuff that I've learned from the mistakes that I've made in my life, because, God bless me, I've made enough of them, and I'm still making them all the time. There's Henry Broussard, what we're doing this morning, Colonel. Well, I'm just getting up, just looking at things. I'm answering the messages from the video I made yesterday, and we'll get into that in a minute, because I'm kind of upset, not about the messages, but I'm upset about what they told me. I checked it out myself, and okay. Just Desserts, I have a question for the elder gentleman. Whenever I get a comment like that, I'm always curious, okay, where are they going with that? Yeah, did today's youth inherit a lesser or worse America than you? And if so, why do you think that is? And you know what? You're wanting me to get into political conversation. I'm not trying to do that. Every generation has its negatives and its positive. I'm a baby boomer. Okay, I'm the last of the baby boomers. I was born in 1964. And we had our own issues back then, and they got their own issues today. And we'll leave it at that. If you can't figure that out, read history, do some research. You can answer that question for yourself. It's not an opinion that I want to give because it's relative. Okay? It's relative. There is nothing new under the sun on this earth. We may think there is, but there's nothing new. People are still born evil with the sin nature. Okay? And they have to overcome that. And really, the only way to overcome that is through the grace and the knowledge and the love of Jesus Christ. Okay? I'm not going to get into it. You want to bait me with a political question? I'm not doing that. I don't want to be harsh. But it's just, yeah, I'm not getting into that. You can answer that question yourself. Aloha. But thanks for the comment. I appreciate the comment. It helps the algorithm. Give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. Aloha. Happy Easter from Derek. All right, Derek. Aloha. Big John Taylor, I'm Beach. Oh, okay, Big John. Okay, I got you. I remember. I know BJT. Thanks for clarifying that, man. I don't remember where you're from, though, or where you're living at. I'm forgetful. Just desserts, so the answer is a resounding yes. It is worse. I didn't say that, just desserts. I didn't say that at all. I said it's the same. But you can read into it whatever you want, and it sounds to me like you're trying to be a smart aleck, and you don't have to stay on this channel if you don't like what I say. It's all good. Hello, Colonel from Washington, USA. Sexy one. I thought that was me. Actually, I think it's Crizel myself. But anyway. Oh, that's right. Okay, BJ. Okay, you're in St. Louis, Missouri. Okay. You're there in James and Karen Adventures in James's country. Man, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Let's see. Justice, I'm not even going to read. I'm not even going to read your stuff anymore because you're just trying to bait me, and yeah, I don't. I'm going to read it. I'll humor you one more time, and then I'll block you after that. But then your generation should start helping the youth and not look at them with disdain. Stop going on 20-time cruises a year and giving the inheritance to the fifth wife's dog and not the grandkids. Well, just desserts. The way I'm going to respond to that. Okay, I don't know you, and at this point, the way you're talking, I don't care to know you, and that's fine. But I appreciate the comments, and the way I'm going to respond to that is, you don't know me or know anything about me, so you should just keep your mouth shut. Stop saying stuff to people that you don't know what you're talking about, because I don't do any of that you just talked about. I live in the Philippines. Okay, I'm enjoying this part of my life. I have a very large family, and my family is very successful. And honestly, they don't need an inheritance from me. They're all much wealthier than I am and doing much better than I am. Okay, if anything, maybe their generation should give back to me, like they do over here in the Philippines, where the family unit is tighter and whatnot. And I raised my children properly. But like I said, you don't know me. So if you want to make a negative comment again, and pass judgment on a certain generation that you really obviously don't know anything about. You don't know anything about the baby boomers. That's obvious. But keep talking. Aaron, you comment again. Sounds like you're planning on giving your hand to some Filipino you don't even know. And my girlfriend's not a waitress. Thank you so much. And yeah, you know what? I was gonna block. I'm just gonna leave you on it because you have no idea what you're talking about, but you're more than welcome to come talk to me face to face, and we'll have a good discussion. Derek says hallelujah, and I love it when people like Just Desserts come on here and they make comments out of ignorance, because Just Desserts, you truly are ignorant about a great many things in life and about people like me, because you don't know me at all. And if I have a Filipino girlfriend or wife or whatever, you're saying she's a waitress? Go say that to her face, okay? She's never been a waitress, and you don't know her either. But nice try. Nice try to be smart, but you're not. Okay, let's see. Jason Potter says, you're all right, Colonel. I'm watching the farm video, and I don't see no cats. There was one cat, but I don't even know who it belongs to. It's not mine. Derek says, hallelujah. Okay. Yes, see, boomers are what's saving our country. Thank you, Scorpio. And I don't know whether that's true or not. Some of us are trying to, possibly. I don't know that I am. I'm trying to do the right thing, but I'm enjoying my life also. And certain people, they don't like that. Usually people like just desserts are just jealous, and they're speaking out of jealousy. They're unhappy. Just desserts, go make the world a better place, man. Stop passing judgment on somebody else. Take responsibility yourself for your own life. Okay. Here we go. This is great. Your generation ruined your inheritance, which was our country. After having it on easy mode due to the greatest generation, your parents, then you try to lecture us. I'm not lecturing you about anything, man. Well, the only thing I would say to you is stop complaining about one generation and worry about your own. I don't know how old you are. You're talking like a child, kind of like, and that's okay. But you know what? I don't talk down to anybody your age. I have children. My children are probably your age, actually. I don't talk down to them. I talk to them like adults, and I share the wisdom that I've learned from years of experience. What they do with that is what they do with that, and what you do with it is what you do with it. Apparently, you're not doing anything except you just want to pass blame on somebody else. And I'm here to tell you, my generation has done a lot for the United States of America. Okay, I was in the military. I was willing to give my life just so you can make lame comments like you're making. But keep making them because it helps the algorithm. I appreciate it. Scorpio, and I'm one of them, Army 76 and 97. God bless you, sir. Appreciate your service. I was in there in the middle of that, you know. I was in from 84 to 89. But it's all good. Jason Potter says, Crizel is getting you farming and making good content. Well, you know, Crizel's going to make some good content because she's just an infectious person to be around as far as just happy and smiling and everything. She's got a great personality, and that's one of the reasons I fell for her is it's not all about appearance, folks. It's about intellectualism, being able to relate to somebody, having their personality mesh with yours in a good way. Hey, the physical part's not bad now, okay? She's a cutie, and beauty's in the eyes of the beholder. Sula, Colonel, hello. Sula, my could have been Irish girl. Oh well, she waited too long. I kept putting it out there that I was available, but oh well. I thought Sula was married anyway, but it's okay. We had a good time on was that James and Karen's live or somebody else's live stream? Was it James and Karen or Gino? I don't remember which one. I think James and Karen. Yeah, that was funny. Had a good time. Boomers are the eternal children. I don't know. You know, you know what, Just Desserts? You just sound angry and upset and just not a happy person. You need to learn how to make the best out of life and stop blaming other people for your issues. Because evidently you have some issues that you haven't dealt. Maybe you have. Are you in your mother's basement? Is that what the issue is? I don't know. I don't know if I can help you. Now, if you want help, just ask me for help, and maybe I can try to help you. Let's see. I don't agree with what you're saying, but that's okay. Scorpio, stand proud, Colonel. And Scorpio said, "Woo, hoo-ah, yeah, hoo-ah," or "Hoorah," depending what branch you're in. And Just Desert sounds like somebody who's just not a happy person. Sounds like a left-wing snowflake to me. And but that's okay. You're entitled to that. You're entitled to your own opinion, and you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to like me, and you know that's not my goal in life. Is to get you to like me. You know, my goal in life is to live my life, and you should live your life. You know, stop worrying about other people's lives. Live your life to the best of your ability. Make those around you a better person instead of complaining about them. If you're trying to beat me down or beat down baby boomers or whatever, you're focusing on the wrong thing, my friend. Totally focusing on the wrong thing. Grow up a little bit. Sula says, we are the generation where nothing was handed to us and we had to fend for ourselves and never expected anything from our parents, but instead stepped up and helped the family even as little kids. There you go, Sula, you tell them. Oh my God, here we go. You sure did, yes sir. You didn't do squat for America. Hey, Just Desserts, what country are you from? What country are you from? I'm starting to wonder. I don't even think you're an American. As if you were, you wouldn't make statements like that. And no, I didn't serve Israel, okay? I don't have any problem at all with the Israeli people, okay? Not at all. I don't necessarily agree with everything what the government does in any country. Yeah, that's, you know, it's all good. Here, Sula. I just noticed something. I need to fix Sula there because Sula's a good friend. All right, Sula. I made you blue there, Sula, so you can help me out if you want to. Derek, do you like I like Western movies. I watched a lot of them. DJ. Yes, people should not judge people they don't know. Absolutely correct. And I don't know Justice, so I can't judge them. I can make observations on what they say, and he can make observations, or she can make observations on what I say, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. But it happens more and more every day. That's what the younger generation is doing now. And that's fine. You know, they're stuck in their mama's basement. And I say that figuratively, okay? I don't know. Don't really care at this point, but it's all good. Yes, it was a bit of fun. It was Jenny Lynn's channel. That's right. Great. Yeah, we were laughing good. We were laughing good. Scorpio. Oh, I went by that. Let me go back up. Many of them at 35 are living in mama's basement. Sad sacks. Yeah, it's unfortunate because, you know, they don't have to do that. But I guess some of them feel like they have to do that. I've been watching short videos and stuff. These people, it's mostly women, complaining about their lives and how, or they lost their job, or they can't get a job, this, that, and they're doing it. And what it is, honestly, I hate to say it, but they're blaming everyone else for their issues instead of getting up, doing what they got to do. I look at the people in this country every day. They get up and do what they got to do to live and to survive. You know, if we would all do that, the world would probably be a better place. And oh my goodness, yeah. I'm just gonna laugh at you now, Justice, because you don't have any idea what you're talking about. I don't want a parade, man. I don't need a parade. I never got a parade. Okay, you're showing your ignorance again, and your conspiracy theories and whatnot. When I got out of the military, where were you? Okay, you should give me a parade. Where were you? When I got out of the military, it was difficult just to get a job. And you know why it was difficult to get a job? Because of people like you that said, oh, you're in the military, we're not hiring you. Oh, your training's from the military? I had all kinds of leadership and management training. Try to get a manager job when I got out of the military, because you don't know what you're talking about, my friend, okay? When I got out, it wasn't like it is today. It was not like it is today, okay? I was still looked at as the Vietnam generation. Okay, so don't even, you know, oh, I'm this close, dude. I'm this close to shutting you down. Or girl, I don't know what you are. I got an idea, but I don't know. So, yeah, Sully says you're BS. Oh, boy. I'm not even gonna justify it. Joe Schmo, there you go. Hey, Joe, good morning. Yeah, Justice, there you go. He won't tell us about himself or herself because they've got nothing to say. Thanks, Colonel. You give the word and I'll sort the situation. Yeah, so you can sort that anytime you want. Thanks for saying what you just said, though. Because people like that, they won't tell you about themselves. You know, they won't put themselves out there because they're kind of shallow-minded. But, you know, I appreciate what he's saying in one aspect because it tells us who they are. And unfortunately, I don't even know that person's American. But, Justice Ertz is just trying to get me to say his name out there, and he's just trying to get attention. And, so be it. He got his attention. He got his claim to fame on the Colonels Chronicles, and, it's here for posterity, and it's all good. But, so you do what you see fit. That's why I gave you that blue color. I'm for verbs, not pronouns. There you go, Scorpio. That's funny, man. That's funny. I don't see the point of some of that stuff. But some people do. It's important to them. And I'm like, anything can be important to anybody, but don't tell me that I have to conform to your deluded way of thinking. Okay? Because I don't. And you don't have to conform to mine if you think my way of thinking is delusional. Just let me say what I'm going to say. Just like I let Justice Earth, I let him say what he wanted to say, or she. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's all good. Norm, I wonder what generation developed the PC or phone he's crying through. There you go, Norm. And you know as well as I do, Norm, I remember being in school and nobody was carrying a phone and there were no computers. I remember Our, oh my goodness. I remember when there were no calculators. Our calculator in New York City, in Brooklyn, New York, when I went to school, it was one of them big giant tabulate machines where you pushed a button and then you pulled a handle and it added up or whatever the numbers for you, you know, the tabulating machine. And we considered that they go, this is the computer. I'm like, oh my goodness. Hey, I don't even know, maybe we didn't even have computer words back then, but we were like, this is the future, the tabulating machine. Might as well had an abacus. And you know what? They taught us how to use an abacus. It was funny. Oh my goodness. Yeah. You know, some people come onto a live stream, they just want to push people's buttons and get them going, and that's what that individual was doing. Yeah, you know, I took the bait a little bit, but I try to be benign about it because you know you want me to say stuff that's going to get my live stream shut down, and people can file a grievance. I'm thinking union lingo there, but they can try to get me banned or whatever. It's all you know. It's the way it is. Jason Potter says Ate Sula is ready. Yeah, there you go. That's funny. And you know what, Jason, I'm gonna hook you up too, brother, because I appreciate you. I forget to do this stuff sometimes. You know, yeah. Now Jason Potter has the power. Scorpio, I'm starting to wish I knew you personally, Scorpio. I like the way you think. Having orange pink hair doesn't move you up the corporate ladder. Well, it might. I don't think it won't probably be because of the hair color, but it'll because of the performance of the person with the hair color. And see, that's what I'm talking about, people. I'm not judging the person on their appearance if they have the skills. Okay? If you got the skills, you want to come in with green, yellow hair, that's up to you. I don't think it's the best face for a business because some people, unfortunately, are put off by stuff like that. For me, I don't like it. I don't like it, but that's my personal grievance or my personal issue. But if you got the skills, hey, you know, just like certain administrations, they might have people, presidential administrations, they might have people in their cabinet and in their regime or their administration that is not the way they believe or the way they feel, but they still bring them in. Because why? Because of their skills and what they bring to the table. And it's not about sexuality or anything like that. I mean, I'm just saying. Look at the facts. Let's see. Joe Schmo. Improvise, adapt, overcome. You better believe it, brother. And I'm not even one of those Marine Corps. But you know what? I still believe in that, man. Yep. Adapt. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Yep. If we're still alive, we're overcoming every day. I don't serve Rothschilds in the PDS. Yeah, you know. Whatever, dude. Whatever. You probably serve other things that are just as bad, and you don't even realize it. You're still living, right? So you're living probably at the leisure of somebody else. You just haven't realized it yet. How old are you, Justice Ertz? You mind saying? I mean, what generation are you? Because you know, appears to be a generation that lacks a lot of knowledge. You're living in your conspiracy land, but yeah, you know, nothing changes. People who have money control a lot of things, and it appears that there's other people with money that are controlling your thoughts. Might not be who you're listing, okay? But you sound like you're a follower of somebody else that I won't mention his name, but starts with an S and ends in an S. We are the luckiest people, this is from Sula, the luckiest people on the earth, considering what some are living through every day. We need to be grateful for the bed we sleep in, the shoes on our feet, food in the cupboard. Amen. Yeah, Scorpio, that's all right. You were fixing. Yeah. Okay. Sula, Jason, he's laughing at Jason. You're 25. I'm vastly more successful and realistic than this boomer was at 25. You don't even know what I was doing when I was 25, Justice Ertz. So once again, you're talking out of your backside. But the boomers weren't of any help. We're not supposed to be of any help, Justice Ertz. No one helped us get where we are in life. Help yourself, man. Stop looking for the handout and stop complaining that you're not getting it. Yeah, Joe Scorpio. Yeah, it is a great one. Yeah. So Thank you for telling us your dessert, your dessert, just desserts. Telling us your age, if that's actually true, because I got you kind of being a dishonest person, but I don't know you, so I can't really say that definitively. But just from this stuff you're saying, you know, generally people like that make comments that you're making, we call you left wing nut snowflakes. Stop crying in your Cheerios. Well, it's probably Captain Crunch, which I like Captain Crunch too. But stop crying in your cereal, okay? And crying about stuff that, are you doing anything to change it? Are you making the world a better place? Or are you just out protesting and complaining on a channel like mine just to get attention? You got the attention. Pat yourself on the back, okay? And be happy. Be positive. Stop being a crybaby. Sula, Colonel, it's nice you give everyone a voice and an opportunity to actually learn a bit of wisdom. I'm all, you know, Sula, I'm pretty much done with him. You know, he wanted attention. He got it. So, you know, we can take care of him next time. But, you know, we know where, at least we know what generated, where he's from, where he's coming from. And, you know, people like that can talk, even if they have no idea what they're talking about. He's trying to spew knowledge. Are you working for the Rothschild and Peter and Israel? Okay, okay, we know where you're coming from with your information and your conspiracies and stuff, and you know, because James talks about stuff like that, and so I just like, okay, whatever, man. I'm living my life, and it's all good. Scorpio, got to run. Thanks for your service, Scorpio. Thanks for yours also. Appreciate your comments in here, and so you can take care of that individual anytime you want. Lowell from Oregon, God bless. Hope you're having a good day. Thank you, Lowell. You know, really, honestly, folks, Just Dessert's probably upset for my comments at the very beginning about Easter. That probably got his shorts in a bunch, and then it just went downhill from there for him. Elmont is here. Scorpio. You lost me. I don't know what you meant by that one. Scorpio, I apologize for my lack of understanding. Sula, Just Desserts, you were only 25 and you had a lot of life to live. And in time, you'll realize none of this argument even matters. You'll just be glad to have your health and one good friend and a family. You know, Sula, unfortunately, a lot of people like that individual, they won't, unfortunately. You would like to think that they would. But I look at some of these protests in the U.S. and stuff that are going on, and I look at the age of some of the people or their appearance of their age of some of the people, and I just shake my head, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I didn't know there were still people out there like that, you know, just, you know, it's like rebel without a cause. Let's just cause problems just to cause problems. Let's just protest just to protest. We're not really going to change anything, but we want people to see us. We want to get on the news, and we want to scream, and we want to yell obscenities, and we want to talk down to people and everything. I'm sorry, that's just not what life's all about. And if you want to spend your life doing that, that's unfortunate for you, because there's so many other things that are more important in life. You just haven't realized it yet, and that's what Sula's kind of saying. Hopefully you will, but I'm starting to think you probably won't. Jason Power says, I like the goats on y'all's farm. I bet you can get the milk too. Derek says, would you a sweat hog? That's funny, Derek. Now I can't leave. Dang it, Colonel. Scorpio, you can take off, man. Because I'm gonna switch gears here in a minute and talk about what I came on here to talk about, because it's unfortunate, and I got to figure out how to fix it. The young people need us to teach them about life. This is from Sula. If they're willing to accept some wisdom, and it's free, don't need to pay thousands to a therapist or guru. Oh my goodness, isn't that the truth, Sula? Oh my goodness, how much, how much money are therapists getting for something that's, oh my goodness, that the people going to the therapist probably could have gotten from reading one book, quite honestly. If you think on that, don't have to think too deeply, you know what I'm talking about. Sula, yeah. Oh, I've read that already. Scorpio, the Colonel is a good guy, don't leave. It's all right, Jason Potter, he's got stuff to do, Oh, sticking around, all right, Scorpio, thanks, brother, appreciate that. Please like and subscribe. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it. I heat Bezos. Okay. Yeah. Oh, gosh, my buddy's birthday today. I just got a message drop down on the screen. Buddy in America's birthday. Are you going to visit Dumageddon and do a walk with Michael S? Well, I suggested that one time, Derek, but Michael kind of talked down to me, and like I couldn't keep up with him. I couldn't walk as far as him, so I kind of took that like, okay, he didn't want me to do that because I said, hey, because I love to walk. Now that dude walks a long ways, and I might not be able to walk his 10 miles or whatever, but I can come close to it. I can come close. I did 12 kilometers up in Rojas City one time. I paid the price for it, but I can walk now. My knees are arthritic and my back's arthritic, but I can still walk, and it's better if I keep moving. But I thought about that. I wanted to visit Dumageddon at one time. Now I'm kind of like, I'm in Iloilo. And for me, Iloilo is better than Dumageddon. Now, you may not have the beach and whatnot, but it's each to their own. But I wouldn't mind going there to visit. I don't want to stay there, but I would go there just to say I went there. And I've been to Piccolo, but I haven't been all the way down to the south to Dumageddon. And but I'm not opposed to that at all. I like Michael. He's from Pennsylvania, and and there's nothing wrong with that. I knew when I hear him talk, I know right away he's from Pennsylvania. And now he's a little further west from I'm used to. My ex-wife in America, she's from Central PA. So, I'm familiar with the speak and everything up there. And when I heard him speaking the first time on his video, I was like, man, this dude sounds like he's from Pennsylvania. And I worked in Philly, downtown Philly, for 7 years back in the day. And, but it's all good. Thanks, Sula. Oh, Sula's on top of it right now. But there you go, Sula. It was fun while it lasted, but yeah, I've had enough of him. Democrat slogan, don't worry, be happy. I say that sometimes too, and I'm more of an independent than anything, but I'm conservative. It's pretty obvious. Norm double whammy from Sula. There you go, Sula. Get him. I love it. That's great. Boom. Double axe. That was awesome. Yeah, it was. I saw that cart was popping up as I'm scrolling down on the field. Like, she got him finally. And, but I can feel most comments. I may not like what they're saying, but I'll let it go for a little bit. But when you just keeping on, just because you want attention, and that's really what that is. I'm sorry. Some of you may not agree with that, but to me, Just Desserts was just attention seeking. And unfortunately, I gave him the attention that he wanted. But you know what? Maybe he feels better because he got attention. And, he can go on with life and be happy. Who knows? I don't know. Okay. I'm sorry, Scorpio. I'm from Elmont, New York. Belmont Racetrack. Doesn't matter. Okay. Let's see. I've been I lived there in Brooklyn when I was a kid. And I worked on it. I didn't work. I helped out on a dairy farm up in upstate New York because my roommate in college, one of my roommates, there were 6 of us in an apartment. His family, they were dairy farmers upstate New York, up towards Newfane, that area, and up towards Niagara Falls. And I used to go on our breaks. I would go up there because I didn't want to go home, so I would go up there instead. And I helped them out on the dairy farm. And I learned from that experience, learned some valuable lessons. One of them mainly being, I don't want to be a dairy farmer. There's no vacation. There's no time off from that. I think maybe Just Desserts needs to spend some time on a dairy farm. Find out what life's really about. Sula says, Colonel, you're right. They look for issues when they are so lucky to live in a free society. Some people don't realize what they have. Amen, Sula. That's right. And that, what, Sula, that's not just for that person, too. That's for all of us. All of us need to remember that. Thank you for saying that. Oh, Earth to Sula, Scorpio, that's great. Sula's a good friend of mine. I appreciate it. I've never met in person, but I know that we would get along great. Now, I probably don't drink like she does, but, it's all good. There we go. There's my sweetheart sister there, Shira. She says hi. Hi, sis. And thanks for joining the live stream. Because, well, you weren't on the video yesterday, but the family was. So we're going to talk about that, or not live stream, the video yesterday. Jason is serious, double axe, LOL from Sully. That was great. Who's your classmate, Arnold Horseshack? That's funny, Derek. I remember that show. Scorpio, it was probably one of the shows I wasn't allowed to watch. Probably my parents were so strict, but I know what you've done. I remember that. When I Welcome Back, Cotter. Horseshack on Welcome Back, Cotter. Scorpio Earth. Yeah, Colonel, if you trip Michael, you definitely can keep up. That's funny. Now I guarantee you, Michael's got longer legs than me. I'd have to be probably doing two steps, one of his, so I'd be struggling and out of breath and everything. But I'll take my own walk. It's all good. And I don't know who you are, Romeo Casket, but I'm not your sweetheart. Um, Colonel from Sula, Colonel, I hope you don't mind me commenting, but you seem to have great skin. Maybe it's the Irish roots. There you go. And actually, I don't have great skin. But when I was younger, I always had a baby face. Now, I don't now because I'm getting all the wrinkles and everything, and I'm showing my age and whatnot. But if I go like this, you can see. See, at one time, I had a baby face and had the cute little dimples and everything. Crizel talks about my dimples all the time, cracks me up. And for those of you that don't know, Crizel, that's my girlfriend, significant other, maybe more than a girlfriend as time goes on. And Shira, who commented earlier, is her younger sister. Another very nice girl. That's okay, Sula. You can comment about that. But yeah, the Irish roots. Vegas Will is in the house. Hey, hey. Hey, hey, Vegas Will. Did you ever eat at the Amish buffet in Pennsylvania? Wow, Derek, I don't know, man. I ate so many different places. I used to eat at Zen's Diner in Lancaster because my mom's from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And that's my adopted mother, not my biological mother. But my biological mother is pretty much Irish or half Irish. But nah, I never ate the Amish buffet. I never even saw such a thing. I've been Zen's Diner is a very well-known Amish diner, but never ate at an Amish buffet. But I've eaten at other buffets in Pennsylvania that are out of this world. And I don't know what it's like now, but I used to eat at a place called Willow Valley in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And growing up, used to love that place and loved eating that restaurant. Now, today, I don't think today it's not what it was when I was younger, but it's very extravagant now, very expensive now. It wasn't always like that. It used to just be a family restaurant, but that family has grown so much, and the younger generations have taken over, and it's changed somewhat. They have a retirement community there now and all kinds of stuff. I actually had my honeymoon when I got married the first time. My honeymoon was at Willow Valley because it's a nice hotel and whatnot, and got a pond there with a covered bridge and lake. It's just beautiful. I'm sure it's still beautiful. I'm assuming, but I don't know. Haven't been there in years. Sula says, funnily enough, Just Dessert sounds like a British TV show my grandmother would have watched back in the day. I don't know. I don't know. Just Desserts was fixated on the Rothschilds and kept saying PDF, whatever that's supposed to be, and maybe they meant IDF. I don't know. But so wrong about me, and that's okay. Colonel, you're respectful, and I like that. Respect is a two-way street. This is what some don't get. Exactly, Scorpio. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not always respectful. Somebody pushes my buttons, they're going to see a different side of me that they didn't see. You know? And I work for the Federal Bureau of Prisons. So there's a side of me that most of you don't see. Because I don't go there anymore. I don't need to go there anymore. Am I capable of going there? Just ask the people that work for me. Yeah, just ask the people that work around me. Or as we used to say, check my jacket, okay? But you know what? I choose not to be there or not to go there anymore. I don't want to be like that. But can I be? 100%. Do I want to be? 100% no. I don't want to be like that anymore. I tell people that I'm not that person anymore. Is it inside of me? Yes. Yes, it's still inside of me. But I choose to live a different life and go a different path. And through the grace of God, I'm able to do that. I can't do it on my own. I'm a hateful person. I ain't gonna lie to you. I hate people. I ain't gonna lie to you. But more, I shouldn't say I hate people. I hate the behavior of people. I try to tell people, they ask me about the criminal. Why do you hate? Listen, I don't hate the convict. I don't hate the people. I hate what they do. And that's a distinction that people miss out. I hate even people like Justice. I don't hate them as a person. I don't like what they say and what they do. I don't agree with them. But you know what? They're human beings just like I am. Their blood's the same color as mine. So that's where the respect comes from. But I don't know lie to you. People push I had a guy yesterday riding on my motorbike coming home. Cut me off twice on a motorbike and almost hit me every time he did it. And I pulled up beside him and I said a few things that I had to ask forgiveness for afterwards because I felt bad. I let the dude push my buttons. I let him push my buttons, and I wanted to hit him so bad, but I didn't. But the people in the jeepney, they were watching this too. They were watching the guy. He was just being a class A1, and pardon my English, but he was just being a straight up a-hole. And I'm sorry. Sometimes I say that, and I'm not perfect. But anyway, I had to ask forgiveness because then I felt bad. I'm like, you know what? I should have let the guy go. But I have a hard time doing that. I have a hard time doing it. So, but thank you for that, Scorpio, for saying that anyway. I appreciate that. Scorpio just got a LO. LO's 2 a.m. LO. Okay. Scorpio says, time for another bourbon and Coke and a cigar. Stay safe. You enjoy yourself there, Scorpio. Try Buffalo Trace if you haven't tried that type of bourbon. I'm not a heavy drinker. I might take a sip once in a great while, but I appreciate a good tasting bourbon. Used to be Knob Creek, but I tasted Buffalo Trace, and wow, that's what I said. I said wow, and it's totally different. It's totally different than Knob Creek. If you want to take a step down from Knob Creek, you got Woodford Reserve, and there's other ones out there I haven't tried because I'm not a drink. I'm not going to say alcohol never touches my lips because that would be a lie. But I don't. I choose not to drink. Romeo says still watching, even busy. Okay, appreciate that. I thought that was you, sweetheart. It's Crizel, but the name threw me for a loop. So I gotta correct myself, folks. Romeo Cuss. I don't know if I like that. That's a guy's name you're using there, but yes, you are my sweetheart. She is my sweetheart, folks. I hope she heard the good things I said about her. Okay, Alyssa Teller. Hi, Colonel. Good morning. Love your energy. Well, you got me. Excuse me. You got me on a good day, Alyssa. You got me on a good day. I've got some energy. Maybe Crizel has something to do with that. I'm very happy right now. She's a very special young lady, and she brings me a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. I've subscribed. See you again. You would have made a good NCO. Well, thanks, Scorpio. I appreciate that. And I tried. I'm not going to say I was successful or even there. But where I was lower enlisted, and I was trying real hard, but it just, wasn't meant to be. And, it is what honestly, I was trying to go to OCS is what I was trying to do because, my father was the colonel. And I kind of wanted to follow in his footsteps, although he was a chaplain, and I wasn't. And, but, it just wasn't in God's life plan for me. But my Army training and the things I did in the military, so I wouldn't trade it for anything. And you know what? I'd do it again. I would do it again. Even the training I was doing for Ranger School, I'd do it over again. Even though it's brutal getting ready for something. Then I got back together with my wife and ended up not doing it. But getting ready for it was invaluable. And it is what it is. We all learn through our experiences, hopefully. But I appreciate these nice comments, folks. I don't get a lot of good, but I appreciate that. Scorpio, take care. See you again, hopefully. Yeah, sit back, Scorpio, relax. You earned it. Take care of yourself. Let's see. Scorpio, I ate MREs on a few deployments. Bye for now. Bye, Scorpio. Dude, the MREs, like I do, the trick is knowing what combination to make. And I tell you what, from what I understanding, the MREs are a whole lot better now than the ones I got. And you're probably the same as we got the original ones. And they were rough. What about that pork patty you used to get? But you know what? Believe it or not, that and those the barbecue meatballs, whatever, those were like my favorites. And I used to mix the applesauce in with the pork patty. Yeah, I mean, you did what you got to do. But they get stuff in MREs now that we didn't get. And kind of. Yeah, kind of a little miffed about that, but it is what it is. But like I was saying, we did the best with what we were given, right? But take care, brother. Thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate you. Joe Schmo. So where is that gorgeous other half tonight? Joe Schmo, she's at work right now. She has a full-time job. And the reason she was with me is she took a few days off during Holy Week and got so that she could spend some time and see where I live. She wanted to see how the other half lived. Okay, I go out to her house quite a bit, but I'm not gonna lie to you. She knows this. It exhausts me on the motor to drive out there and back because it's not as young as I used to be, and I'm trying real hard not to get killed out there on the roads. Okay, this is Southeast Asia, so you got to be real cognizant. And if any of you, I think a lot of you are from James and Karen's Adventures channel. You know, you see James, and you got to remember James is a novice rider. Okay, I'm experienced, but it's even an experienced rider. You got to be on your toes, not literally, but you got to stay alert. Keep your head on a swivel. Yeah, I had a guy go by me yesterday that I did not see, and that irks me because it means I wasn't paying attention. Because I'm usually always watching my mirrors, watching around, seeing who's coming up on me, making sure I'm out of the way, and things like that. But that's also one of the reasons, James, do you drive fast, Colonel? I said, yeah, because I want to stay in front of all the danger. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, there's danger that comes in from the side. And I always go back to, and I know he's not watching this, but I seen on Facebook and he's still living. But I always go back to back when they gave you driver's ed in high school in America, Mr. Riffle. I'll never forget, the one thing that stuck with me about his class, get the big picture. Always taking the big picture. And I don't know why, but that always stuck with me my whole life. When I'm driving or whatever, always look at the big picture. And what that means is looking far ahead of you, seeing the potential dangers and the possibilities. And some of that is from defensive driving courses I've had, and driving courses from even my job and whatnot, getting training for armed escorts and things like that. So anyway, get the big picture. Thank you, Mr. Riffle. I mean, I think that guy, I think he loved his students, but I also think we irritated the heck out of him. And now I think about it, it was in his class that I had to get up and leave, and I ended up in emergency surgery later that day, but we're not going to talk about that. But that was rough. And he's like, I'm going up there. I'm like, I got to go. He's like, what? I'm like, I got to go. He's like, go. So I think he thought I had to use the bathroom, restroom. But anyway, let's see. So that's where she's at, Joe Schmo. She's at work. She does administrative work for a large construction company in this area. So Romeo, hi, are you Crizelle's sister? No, that is Crizelle, Sula. Right, that's Crizelle. That's her. She's using that name for YouTube, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna talk to her about that, find out what's up with that. But she might be on somebody else's, using somebody else's phone for that. I know she's working right now. I know her boss. She don't want her boss to catch her being on the phone, but she sits in front of a computer and lots of paperwork and keeping track of drivers and deliveries and things like that. But yeah, that's actually Crizelle, Sula. Lancaster, PA. There was an RCA factory there before they closed. Yeah, Derek, that was a long time ago. That's also where Slaymaker locks were made, Lancaster. And I used to have a Slaymaker lock. I had a wooden box, a crate from Slaymaker lock. It was burned on the name was burned on the outside. And I remember that's what got me into woodworking. My mom had painted that wooden box because she wanted it painted. Well, when she gave that box to me, I decided to refinish that box, and I stripped every bit of paint off of that, cleaned it up, sanded it down, and I stained it, and then I put polyurethane on it, and it was beautiful when I was done. And I used that wooden box for years. I don't remember what happened to it. I really don't. Maybe I sold it at a yard sale, or I gave it to one of them. I might have given it to my son. I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. But it was beautiful. That was my first quote unquote woodworking. I didn't build it. I did put a new lip around the edge. So that was my first real start into woodworking when I was in the Army, and I was probably at the time, I was 21, 22, 21 or 20, no, I was 22 at the time when I started and I realized that, like my biological father, I had a knack for building things with my hands, and I had a knack for doing woodworking, and I loved it, and I enjoyed the heck out of it, and then I got into it, and the rest is history. I mean, the latest adventure for woodworking for me was wood turning, and I left my lathe behind in Thailand, and I'm searching for a new one, but I want an industrial, heavy duty lathe at this time, and I'm just working on trying to figure out how to get it. And then, it'll take probably 10 grand for me to get what I want here in the Philippines. I almost said Thailand, here in the Philippines. So it's not going to happen anytime soon, but someday maybe, Lord willing. So congratulations on your new lady, Colonel. I'm very happy for you and your lovely lady. Many blessings to you both. You deserve happiness, friend. I appreciate that, Sula. I'm sorry. I thought, no, I'm just kidding. You had me cracking up the other day. Oh, I'm too late. That was funny. Let's see, My problem with people is I seem to need them to earn respect, where these days people just expect it. Joan, but I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know. Hi, cowing me, please. I don't understand that. Somebody explain that to me. What Joe Nibel is putting there. Uh, yeah, I don't understand that there, man. I'm sorry. I don't get it. Somebody explain it to me. Norm, the world has changed so much in a short while. Scorpio, still here as a senior NCO. I'm not on your budget. I'm drinking Old Crow. Darn you, Colonel. I just can't leave. Hey, Scorpio, don't get it twisted now, okay? I was not a colonel in the military, in the Army. My dad was. I was lower enlisted. Okay, now I'm a federal retiree because when I got out of the Army, I fulfilled my 6-year contract, did a few odd jobs, couldn't get work. I was trying to explain to that knucklehead that was on here. I'm sorry, I shouldn't call people names, but I was trying to explain that, they didn't want to hire somebody getting out of the Army. I got out in '89, the end of '89, and they still had that like post-Vietnam mentality, and I couldn't believe it. It wasn't until Gulf War and all that kind of stuff where they started treating the people in the military a little bit better in the U.S. But when I got out, man, they treated me like crap for being in the Army. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm a Cold War veteran, so to speak. And anyway, I almost went to Somalia, and actually I should have gone to Somalia, but it didn't happen. They took somebody else instead of me in the position that I would have been in. But anyway, everything's God's will, God's time, and there's reasons for everything. And it might be why I'm still here. And maybe if I'd gone to Somalia, maybe I wouldn't be here now. I don't know. So, but anyway, yeah, I retired as a GS-12, Step 7. So I wasn't making a whole lot of money, but I did okay. I did okay. And I'm blessed for it. And the reason I did the job I did in the Bureau that I hated, I didn't like it, folks. Some people think I'm joking about it. I'm not joking. I'm fighting that glare from my front door on my glasses, the reflection. But yeah, the people don't realize I didn't like the job. I was good at it. I thought I was good at it, but I didn't like it. But I did it so I could retire at a younger age. And that's why I did it. Very dangerous job. But I'm proud of my service, and part of keeping Americans safe. Even though I wasn't in the military anymore, I still had a job in law enforcement. The whole idea of that was to keep the community safe and keep evil people locked up and away from doing other people harm. That's just the way it is. Norm says, hi, Crizel. Hopefully she'll see that, Norm. I knew, when I started dating Crizel, I thought she's a keeper, and the people, my acquaintances here and stuff, you guys are going to love her because she's just bubbly, and she loves to laugh, and she's very down to earth. Oh my goodness, is she down? I'm not going to give away, but she is down to earth, and that's why she reminds me a lot of Karen, with James's Karen. But you know what? They're from the same island of Panay, and it's funny the similarity. They're totally different, but there's a lot of similarities in some aspects of their lives. Sula says, after that motorbike incident, I'm starting to wonder if Colonel was a fiery redhead when he has it. No, I wasn't a redhead. I did have some red coming in my mustache and my beard back in the day when I was younger. It's all white now, but no, I didn't have red hair. I had blonde hair. And in the summertime in America, I had bleach blonde hair. It got real light, and then as I aged, it started getting darker and darker. I have children with fiery red hair, and I have grandchildren with fiery red hair. But I don't blame I blame my ex's side for that too, because one of her sisters had children, so my ex-wife's nieces and nephews, they had fiery red hair. So who knows which side of the family it came from? But it could have come from mine just easy. I had some red in my mustache, mostly in my mustache, not really in my beard. I had some in my beard, but yeah, I'm a mutt. I had all different colors when I was younger. Scorpio, ever serve at Jessup Low? Yes, I did, Scorpio. Do I know you? Were you incarcerated there? Crizel. This is from Jason Potter. Crizel, we are so happy to meet you, and it's great seeing the Colonel smiling. Thanks, Jason Potter. I appreciate that. Scorpio, you got my attention. Either I mentioned that or you know me. And if you know me, it's a small world, and that's funny. Don't tell any of my secrets now. Jason, I second that. Sula, thanks, Sula. Appreciate that. Derek, please don't squeeze the Charmin. Derek, okay, let's talk. I didn't even get to my topic yet, but let's talk about squeezing the Charmin. I'm in the Philippines, brother. I use a sprayer, man. I haven't used toilet tissue in years, and in Thailand the same thing. I got over there and I'm like, "What's this thing? This hose coming out the wall from behind the toilet?" And they told me what it was, and I'm like, "Oh, I never did anything like that." But I'm here to tell you, once you start using that sprayer bidet, you can call it bidet, but it's the sprayer you use at your kitchen sink. Okay, the same type of thing for Americans in there. You know what I'm talking about. They got that in the wall behind the toilet. I tell you what, ain't nothing. It's like getting a bath every time or bathing every time you take you go sit on the toilet and have a bowel movement there. I cleaned it up. I was going to say something else. But yeah, and it's awesome. I love it. And matter of fact, if I go somewhere they don't have it, I almost don't want to. I don't want to sit on the toilet. I'm like, I'll just wait till I go back home or go somewhere where I can wash myself off because I don't feel clean. Now, the real Filipinos and stuff, they'll use a tabo. They'll use the container and they'll put it on the backside and then why and they. That's a whole. I need the sprayer. I want the sprayer. And now I'm spoiled with it. If I went back, I'm not going to. But if I were to ever go back to the U.S. and live, and in my bathrooms, we call them CRs, comfort rooms here in the Philippines. But if I had a bathroom in the U.S. again, guess what? One of the first things getting installed, I'm going to put a splitter down on where the water comes in, and I'm going to have it going up to a sprayer. And it's don't knock it till you try it, folks. That's funny. I'll tell you, this is from Jason Potter. I'll tell you, Sula, he has that fiery side just ready to go at the flip of a switch. You ain't lying about that, Jason Potter. That's what I was talking about earlier. Don't push my buttons. I try to be nice. I try to be kind. I try to be open to other people. But sometimes I snap. It's just the way it is. But, I believe in tough love and I believe in try to treat people with kindness even when they don't deserve it because I don't deserve it. I really don't deserve it. So when people are kind to me, I respect that and I appreciate it. There was something I wanted to say something different, but it was escaping my mind of how I wanted to say it. So we'll just leave that at that. Killing people with kindness. I always enjoyed that, and it's a biblical principle. Love your enemies, pray for those that persecute you. Which I didn't do yesterday for that guy that kept cutting me off. I should have, but I didn't. Man, that guy torqued me because he kept doing it. I'd get around him and then he'd come and cut me off again. And I'm thinking, dude, this is how people get hurt, and this is how people end up unalive. I don't know why we can't just say the K word, but I guess they don't like that on YouTube. But anyway. Jason Potter says, "Oh wow, I just saw the Great Turkey call and Curzel is a natural. Isn't she? Man, that turkey. I think it's the picture of. I'm sitting there going, and I don't have the right. He responded to me a couple times, but when she started doing it, it was a lot louder, but it was also higher pitch. And that turkey, he couldn't stand it. He had to call back to her every time she did it. He was like, I was just like, yeah, it was great. I thought I was going to have to tell her, hey, sweetheart, stop. It's enough. You don't need to do it anymore. Because we got them all riled up. I was waiting. I told her, have you seen them strut yet? Where they fan out the tail and they puff out. She hasn't seen it. I said, wait till, because turkeys are new for her. I said, wait till you see that. It's good. It's beautiful. When old Tom Turkey Gobbler there, he starts puffs out and starts doing his strutting for the ladies and whatnot. You got to remember, this gobbler, he's still young. He's over 8 kilos. So he's heavy, but he's still young. And but when he's ready, he starts strutting his stuff for that female. Maybe I'll get a couple more. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'd like to get some guineas, guinea fowl. You guys, there's a couple up on the mountain. James and Karen at Karen's parents' house. He has a couple guineas up there, and I would love to get some guineas because they're good watchdogs too, and they alert you of snakes and all kinds of stuff, and eat a lot of bugs and things like that. So I would love to have them. You just let the guineas run around, and once they learn that that's their place, they'll stay there. But you got to watch out for the hawks and the, we got the Philippine eagles and stuff over here, so we got to be careful of that, letting the birds out. Let's see. But thanks for that. Yeah, That was a great turkey call, man. She's got it. The girl's got talent, man. She got talent. I'm totally happy with her. Jason, I was trying to see if he's an Irish redheaded heart. I got it in me, so I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I'm partially Irish, and then if you want to go even further back, I got the Viking blood in me. You know, not that that's such a great thing, but it's all there. Let's see. Oh, Michael C. from Tracy Martinez in up there in Luzon, below Bacoor, below Manila. Couldn't think Manila. Morning, Colonel. Good morning, Michael C. Good to see you, brother. Happy that you're here, man. You missed the fireworks earlier. That's okay. Jason Potter says, Sula, it probably depends on the energy you approach him with. Isn't that everybody, Jason? I think that's almost everybody. But some people are just calm, doing everything. I wish I was more like that, but I was never like that. But some people just, we called it phlegmatic when I was studying in college, you know, and I was studying the counseling and psychology type stuff. But that's a phlegmatic personality where nothing ruffles their feathers. They just go through life. They're cool, calm, and collected, and they're usually the ones with the dry sense of humor, and they're just kind of like, yeah, whatever, you know, say love, yeah, whatever. They just brush everything off, and then you know, they look at you like, oh, you're still talking? Okay. And keep going. You know, nothing phases them. I've never been like that. I wish I was, but I'm sometimes a little bit like that. And I tell other people to be like that, but it's mainly because I know I'm not, and I know what happens when I'm not. Bad things happen. So you're right there, Jason Potter. Sula says, Jason, yes, ha ha ha. Sula says, Michael, hello, how are you? Vegas Will, still in the house. How long have you been dating? For a little while, Vegas Will. Not a long time, but you know, I'm to my point in life where I don't need a long time to recognize something real. Okay? And you know, the other, and you know, as you when you date as much as I did and have, you see things, and sometimes you ignore them even though you saw them, and I'm guilty of that sometimes. But with Grizel, I haven't seen any red flag. I haven't seen anything that I'm not happy with. You know, honestly, I'll have to keep the family in check sometimes. You know, it was, you know, I'm not sure how, got an idea how some of them see me and whatnot. And so we got to stay on top of that. But that's just human nature, and that's just realism of living in the Philippines and being involved with the Philippine family. But get a different feeling about Grizel than I've had about the other ladies that I've dated here in the Philippines. Let's see. Ah, there's TM1. Hello, Colonel. Vietnam era vets were not treated well. That's what I'm talking about, TM1. I know that. I lived through that. Okay, and I saw it. That's why when I got out, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, really? We're still in that mindset in America? I mean, it just astounded me. And I would look. I remember one job interview I went in, and after it was over, and the guy said what he said to me, and I'm looking at him. I think I look back at him like, really? I said, really? People still think like that. You know, you get baby killer and all that kind of stuff, and you're like, you people still think? I mean, come on. You know, but hey, it is what it is, and you guys just got to go on with life. But yeah, some of the stuff, and even when I was interviewing for the state of Pennsylvania for Department of Corrections, I went to the one interview, and their attitude there, the one major there, his attitude, you know, because of what I did in the Army, was just, I just shook my head, and I thought, you know what, I didn't want to work for you guys anyway, and I ended up working at another state prison in Pennsylvania. I interviewed with them and got accepted there, but up there at Dallas SCI, I wish I could remember that guy's name, but what a jerk. What a total jerk. The stuff he said to me, I'm just like, you're really ignorant, man. You don't really know what I did at all or what my job involved. It's just like, I'm like, really, dude? You're that? Yeah, you just got to shake your head, you know? And I pretty much, someday I might give out what I did in the military, and everybody will get a good laugh out of it, but I don't tell people what I did in the Army. Somebody knows out there, but I don't usually tell people. Because I don't feel like dealing with all the comments that I'm going to get. And it's just not worth it. Because people didn't understand my job, didn't understand what I did. I did clean a few toilets, and I did pull KP duty in boot camp. I remember that. But anyway, moving on. But you're right, Tim. I'm with you. Vegas Will. That's pretty fast from your old one from Leyte. Well, they're all fast, Vegas Will. Okay? Don't judge me for that. Just judge it on the basis of I know what I'm looking for and I know what I don't want. And if you lie to me, I'm done with you. Okay? I'm done with you. Move on. And that's one of the things where when I was younger, not so much. It took me a long time to get over my ex-wife of how dirty she did me. But we didn't like each other, so it worked out. But now I'm at the point in my life where, hey, I have rules. I have rules in relationships and whatnot. If you violate that rule, bye. See you, don't want to be you. And regardless of how I felt about you, you know, yeah, I liked the girl lady, but now I can look back on things and like, hey, what did you see there? What did you see there, Colonel? You know, but she was cute, she was sweet and everything, but she lied to me about something that was important to me, and I got no time for you, and she knew it. She slipped up and admitted the lie without realizing she did it, and I'm just looking at her like, you realize you just lied to me, right? You know you just, and then I could tell the light bulb turned on. She's like, yeah, you just lied to me, and you just admitted that you lied to me, or you outed yourself. That would be a better way. She outed herself that it was a lie what she had said to me before about something it wasn't that it was so important. I just wanted to see, are you going to tell me the truth or not? And Crizelle knows that too. That's what I told her. I said, don't lie to me because it's important to me that I can trust the person I'm with. So Vegas, well, it was quick. Okay. Quick for Crizelle too. She was dating other people. That's what dating is. It's dating. You're going to go from you might date one person one night, date somebody different the next night. And you might go on a date with another one. It doesn't mean you're physically involved always. Most of the time for me, I wasn't. So, it's just kind of, I go out to eat. You want pizza? Absolutely. Let's go get a pizza. Talk about life and what you want in life, what I want in life, and see if we're compatible. Sula says, Vegas, hello. Hey, Sula from Vegas Will. Man, I appreciate you guys being. Look at that, 15 people sitting in here, 21 thumbs up. I appreciate that. I always say it. I'll say it again. Maybe you get tired of it, but I always want to thank everybody for taking time out of your valuable lives and out of your valuable day, evening, morning, whatever it is, to sit down. Even if you're like busy and you just listen to me, I appreciate that. Matter of fact, it's probably better if you don't look at me. Although I got one of my nicer shirts on today. It's not one of my Hawaiian shirts, but I like this one. It's just, the problem is down below, and you can't see it, it shows my fat roll a little bit too much because it fits pretty snug. But I can't remember. I don't know if I bought this one at Perry Ellis or not, but I like this shirt. I don't think it's a pink. No, it's not a pink. It's that logo. I think this is a Perry Ellis. And I'm in a Perry Ellis phase where I like the Perry Ellis fashion right now. Never did before. I couldn't wear this stuff before. It was always too small for me. I lost a little bit of weight, and and then I gained it the past week. And then I met Crizelle, and I'm eating differently, and I'm losing weight again, or there's something else going on that I need to be concerned about for losing weight. But I'm trying to lose weight again. I'd gotten down to 110. That's kilos, folks. So it really isn't light. But I want to lose about 35 to 40 kilos. I'd like to get down to what I was when I was in the military. I really need to, for my health and for my arthritis and everything, I need to do that. But I don't know how healthy that will be for me to lose so much weight. And definitely don't want to lose it quickly. But anyway, Scorpio, after all my service, I screwed up. I went to the low for a few years, starting in 2012, nonviolent crime. Okay, so Scorpio, let's talk about that for a quick second. You did your time. Yeah, you might have been a convicted felon or whatever, but you did your time. You paid your debt to society. You served our country. You move on. Now, if you were there starting in 2012, did you ever see me? I don't think I was at the low too much in 2012. And it's also when I went to Coleman. So I got promoted during that time. I was a lieutenant there. So, but my last couple of years there, I don't think I spent a lot of time at the low. I was mostly over at the medium. But it's interesting, that you said that too. I had an inmate there that came in, believe it or not, was a coworker of mine, and I'm not mentioning any names because I'm not going to out that person like that for security reasons, whatnot. But he did something bad. He got in trouble. He got convicted, and he got incarcerated. And he showed up at the Jessup Low. I couldn't believe it. Now I'd had a phone call before say, "Hey, this individual's coming there," and I was like, "Oh my goodness," because at the institution I was at prior, he worked for me. I mean, he worked directly for me at times on the shifts that I was a lieutenant on. And it just, people make mistakes, man. They make mistakes and they got to pay for it. But you can tell me, Scorpio, if you remember him, I look the same. I pretty much look, I'm a little heavier maybe. Nah, I don't think so. But I don't have a goatee. I don't have any facial hair. Back then I probably had the goatee. Nah, I don't know. My last year or two at Jessup, I think I shaved. I kept my mustache real close, and I think I got rid of the goatee because I was trying to get promoted again. But you tell me if you remember me or not. It's okay. And if you do, it's okay. I can't do anything about that. Scorpio, you doing okay now? Sula asks. PTSD meds help. Boy, I can talk about that a little bit, but I don't take the meds. Excuse me. Hold on one second, folks. I understand PTSD. I truly do. And we'll just leave that at that. But I'm going to also say, Scorpio, I wondered if this would ever happen, if somebody would come on my live stream that remembers me from my working days. And the only thing I say to them is, hey, I retired almost 12 years ago. Next month be 12 years that I retired. I'm not in that business anymore. So if I meet somebody comes on here that absolutely hated me, that's fine. I was doing my job, and hopefully I did it real well. But most people that knew me, what they'll say about me is that I was fair. I was an a-hole, but I was a fair a-hole. And I tell everybody, yeah, because you know why? I hated everybody equally. It's a bad thing to say, but it's the way I was. I didn't like anybody. And I didn't like them all the same. I didn't care what color your skin was. I didn't care what you looked like. I didn't care your sexual preference. It didn't matter to me. If you were on the other side of the fence or the other side of the wall, I didn't like you. Because that comes from 5 years at penitentiary. You become desensitized, you become hardened towards people. But I've had almost 12 years to decompress from that. Well, I haven't 12 years because I took some sick leave right before I retired. Sula says, sounds like you have been through a lot, but glad you were still around. Scorpio, Big Will, Shorty, Miss Robinson, all good COs. Scorpio, come on now. I know you know me now. You're putting names out there that people I know very well. So you're not saying it, but I think you know who I am, or you might have heard of me. You heard Colonel Sanders. That's me. Okay, they talk about Colonel Sanders in Jessup. That's me, and they hated me at Jessup. Most, not all. Some people are all right. And my good friend, he's worked with me at Jessup. He's not there anymore, but most of the staff at Jessup did not like me because I had a standard, and the standard was do your job. If you do your job, this lieutenant won't mess with you. If you don't do your job, I'm going to be in your face, and I'm going to be checking up on you. And they hated that. Just the staff, they hated that. And there's a couple names there that you're mentioning that I'm not going to say anything about. I'm not going to, okay? Because I'm just not going to say anything. Because you got to remember, I was a supervisor, and I expected people to work and not be lazy. And some people at Jessup, I'll just put it this way, they worked so much overtime, I know they were sleeping half the time. I'm just being honest, keeping it real. There's no way they could function with the lack of sleep that some of those guys had, unless they were on something or doing something, I don't know what. Are they your own dogs, Colonel? No, they're not, Sula. They're out in the street. I got like 5, 6, 7 dogs out here that they just live out there on the street, and the neighbors, people, me too, we just feed them. We put food out there for them and water and whatnot. Oh, there's my brother Rockalo. What's up, Colonel? Hey, Rock. Man, hold on a second. I want you all to go over. I don't know if you all know Rockalo from the Rock and Jazz Show, but I just pinned his message down. If you get a chance, go over there to his channel because, you know, Jazz left him. He put a video out there saying that Jazz left him, and you know, I was watching that, and I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to say any more about that. But just go over there and check out his channel. That dirty dog, and yeah, it's all good, Rock man. You got my message. I meant to, but yeah, yeah, Rock's a good dude. So if you don't mind, folks, go over there and check out his channel. Check out that last video about his girl leaving him, and yeah, I mean, you can tell me later what you think. I know what I thought. I wasn't too happy with Rock, but you know, it's the way it goes sometimes. I'm laughing. All right, Sula said, it's a real eye opener to hear you guys talk about how you were treated after your service. It's so sad to think veterans come home to deal with PTSD and so many end up homeless. Terrible for vets. Yeah, it is. And you know what? I've been blessed. I'm not in that situation, but I know PTSD, and my PTSD is for other reasons. Military too. I saw some horrendous things, even though I wasn't in the Middle East. I saw some other things and been involved with some other things that did not make me happy and didn't sit right with me. But you know what really irritates me about the military? When you're involved in something in the military and you turn on the TV and you see a CNN reporter reporting about the thing that you were involved with, and what they're reporting isn't even close to what really happened. And you look at them, you're like, where the F are you getting your information from? Because that's not at all what happened. But anyway, I'm just going to let that go. I'm getting a little tickle in my throat. Romeo Crizel, hello, no, it's me. Good morning at Sula. Yes, Sula. Crizel's telling you it's her. So she's still, you're here and there watching. I know she's busy right now at work. Jason Potter said, it's funny. The older we get, we know exactly what we want, and it doesn't take long. That's what I'm saying, Jason Potter. That's my answer to people that say, Colonel was really quick, man. You get involved with Crizel so quickly. Yes, absolutely, I did. And you know why? Because I see her for how she presented herself to me. As time goes on, I will learn more about her. And I'm learning more about her all the time. But you know what? Nothing I'm learning about her is bad or anything that's a deal breaker for me. Now, if she lies to me or does something like that, is disrespectful, she already knows. I'm not sticking around to that because I don't need to tolerate that. And she doesn't need to tolerate that from me either. It's not a one-way street where I'm just totally intolerable of things. No, she should not accept stuff from me like that either. Disrespect, cheating, anything like that, which I'm not going to do that, but I'm just saying. She needs to have the same expectations from me that I have from her. And I'm sure she does. She and I have talked extensively, folks, and about a great many things. And that's how you get to know people. And that's one thing I appreciate about her, the girl in Leyte. And I'm glad now I didn't show her face on here. But she didn't talk. And and she knows this, and I need somebody who talks. And Crizel, what I have to do, Crizel talks. And what I have to do is I need to step back and say, shut up, let her talk. Okay? Instead of trying to talk over her, I need to let her talk because she has a lot of good things to say and productive things to say and things to say that can help me and help us with what we're doing. Whether it's the farm, it's YouTube, life, whatever. Because she's a great woman. I shouldn't say great, she's a good woman. She's too young to have been great yet. No, she's great to be around. That's how I meant it. She's great to be with, is how I should say it. But I'm glad you're still in here, sweetheart, watching. Appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up if you didn't, girl. I'm sure she already did. And I hope her family's still watching. Let's see. There we go. Hello, Romeo Crizel. Romeo Crizel. I hope I spelled your name correctly. You did, Sula. You spelled it absolutely correctly. And I'm sure she appreciates you saying hello. I want my friends to be her friends also, and vice versa. Although some of her friends would not normally be my friends, but we'll see how that goes. So Jason, isn't it great? No time wasting and no patience for people messing about. Sula, that's how I've gotten in my life. I mean, relationship wise, I have wasted my time on a lot of people, and I look back and say, you know what? If you just listen to yourself and listen to your principles and paid attention to the red flag, or not ignored the red flags. So I saw the red flags, but I chose to ignore them because I want to experience this. Now, is that the right thing to do? Looking back on it, no, it's not the right thing to do, but I did it, and I paid for it. So, Rockalo, hello, just seeing you come in. Yeah, that's Rock. That's the Rockalo is Rock from the Rock and Jazz, and the Rockalo channel. Good people. He's been laid up for a while. Had that. I don't think I'm mind me saying because they put it out on their channel. He had that back injury, and my man was laid up for a while. And for being as young as he is, he was hurting worse than me. And I understand back pain. I have back pain every day, and riding on a motorbike and whatnot. But he was worse off than me, folks. And I was actually concerned about him. And whether he tells you or not, I reached out to him, and because I was concerned about it, so that I'm like, I need to just check on this dude and make sure that he's okay. And then I saw that video that he just posted, and then I was like, man, dude, really? So check that out, folks, and just then you can think what you want to think on that. But good people, regardless of anything that happens, good people. Jason Potter says, Crizel, I'm interested to ask if the Colonel has cooked one of his famous meals for you yet. Well, if she doesn't answer that, Jason, I'll answer it. That yeah, I did a lot of cooking for her, because she'd probably be embarrassed. I'd say, Crizel doesn't know how to cook. And I told her mom, I said, how come you didn't teach your daughter how to cook, Mom? What's up with that? And her brother, who's been a chef on cruise ships, I was like, Rin, how come you didn't teach your sister how to cook, dude? I got to do all the cooking, man? Really? So I asked Crizel yesterday, I said, Crizel, do you know how to boil water? Just tell the truth. Do you know how to boil water? And she started laughing. She said, yes, I know how to boil water. Are you sure? That's the kind of banter Crizel and I have already in the relationship. It's great. We can tease each other and don't get offended, and it's funny. But I told her, we're going to teach you how to cook, even if I have to send you to a cooking school, because I don't want to cook all the time. I have to do that now. So what I do, I go out to eat, and I don't want to do that either all the time. And she doesn't either. I don't think she likes to eat out a whole lot. She likes to eat at home. But we'll see what she says, Jason, if she reads that. Jason, you're putting him under pressure now. A meal, candles, bit of music, turkey in the oven, gravy. Sula, that ain't no pressure. That's no pressure for the Irish, okay? That ain't no pressure for me. I've been cooking since way back. I cooked professionally back in the day. Before I joined the Army, I was cooking professionally. It's all good. I just get tired. I don't mind the cooking. I don't like to clean up afterwards. But it's got to be done. Excuse me. Talking too much, not drinking enough. Hold on. Scorpio. Oh, you still here, Scorpio? That's great, man. You look familiar. I tried to stay low key. I'm all good. Retired and living well, even without my guns. Yeah, I tell you what, Scorpio, I got rid of all my guns. I carried every day, dude. And most of us do that work for that agency and in that job. Most of us carry. And I carried every day. Concealed carry. I did it, and that was for my own safety. And but as long as you're doing well now, and you're retired, and you can live within the confines of what the government has put on you. I'm not saying I agree with all of that, because I don't necessarily agree with all that. And if somebody's a non-violent offender and it didn't have any gun violence or anything, and it's one of those crimes where, yeah, you broke the law and all, but you know what? All of us break the law in one point of our life, whether we realize, even if it's just traffic laws, we're all guilty of that. But you paid your debt, and you've gone on with your life, and good for you for being successful. And if I put my real name out there, you would remember it. But I don't put my last name out there on this channel. But if you knew it, you know me, or you would have heard of me, I'm sure. Yeah, because I was that guy that people didn't like. It was just one of those things. The officers didn't like me. The inmates didn't like me. It's just the way it is. But I really wasn't that. I wasn't that hard on the inmates per se. But I took the job seriously, and I did expect my officers to do what they were supposed to do, and it used to irritate me when they wouldn't. I expected them to do their shakedowns. I expected them to hold you guys accountable. And if they didn't, at times I would show them how to do it. I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem going in and shaking down, even as a lieutenant or a captain. I didn't have a problem at all going in and shaking down, doing cell searches and pat searches of inmates stuff. I had no problem with that. There, William's in the house. Hey, William, good to see you. This hand too. Good to see you. How are you? I'm doing well, William. Having a good morning. Still got a little bit of coffee, but it's ice cold by now. I'm doing well. Sula says, good for you, Scorpio. Fair was all I needed. Scorpio, you know what? And that's one of the basics that we're trained, and they should be still trained. I don't know what they train now. There's so much has changed in the Bureau. It's not even the same Bureau that it was when I was in. But 3 principles we always taught people. Be firm, what? Firm, fair, and consistent. And I consistently hated everybody. And I was firm with everybody. But I tried to be fair with everybody. And I tried to keep an open mind about certain things. Because sometimes, there's situations that don't always fit the mold. And I learned this over the years, and excuse me, I can't see. I learned this over the years that just because somebody's and I'm going to clean this up from how we used to say it, but I'm just going to say that not all people that are convicted and incarcerated lie, okay? And not all staff members tell the truth. Now, I'm going to be hated by staff for saying that, but it's been my experience, being in the positions that I've been in the Bureau of Prisons, that, and I'll just say it plain, not all convicts lie, and not all staff tell the truth. I learned that, and I learned that from working in, our version of internal affairs, so to speak. And you'd be surprised. A lot of people in the public that don't know anything about federal prison in the U.S. would be surprised at times when people are doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And we expect that from, we call them inmates, and some people say convicts. We expect that from that side, but we don't expect it in our ranks. And I'll tell you what, I was not the one. I didn't accept that. I did not accept that at all. I didn't tolerate it at all. And I've witnessed it firsthand and on video. I witnessed it. And you're talking about one upset person. I almost said something I shouldn't have said there. But you want to see somebody who was upset at a fellow coworker when I was captain? You better believe it. And I got zero tolerance for nonsense like that. And it's criminal activity. I got zero tolerance for it. We're not supposed to be the criminals. We expect the criminals to be criminals because they are what they are. And I'm sure, Scorpio, you saw things that we never saw. And that's unfortunate for you that you had to go through that. It really is. But, when you're in situations in life, and your perspectives change sometimes based on where you're at. So, wow. I didn't expect this day to happen so soon, but here, folks, I'm talking to a gentleman now, ex-convict, if you want to call him that, okay? But he's just a normal person now. He paid his debt to society. And here it is. He was at a prison I worked at, and we were there at the same time, more than likely. And you know what? I don't harbor any ill will towards him at all. I respect him for going through what he went through and then being successful in life. And that's all you can ask for. And that's part of the criminal justice system and part of being incarcerated. So it's to let people pay their debt to society, but also for them to get out and be changed or to be successful. Unfortunately, not everybody does that, and not everybody allows himself to do that. And I'm fighting with that. See that? I'm fighting with that on my glasses. It's irritating me seeing that on the screen. I should just, you know what? I'm going to fix that. 1 second. Don't go anywhere. And these stupid dogs too, man. I tell you what. Unfortunately, that's not going to keep the dogs. You'll still hear the dogs because I live in a concrete jungle. But anyway, yeah, see, well, that took care of most of it. The glare was really bothering me. So, yeah, so anyway, I respect to you, Scorpio. And a lot of people in my position go, nah, I never respect, I never. They're wrong, okay? You paid your debt, can't hold that against you anymore. Just like I was in the Army, I didn't want people holding that against me, but they did. They really did. I couldn't believe it. It messed me up. But I appreciate that. Fair was all I needed. Thank you. Thank you. And honestly, somebody like me, yeah, you wouldn't have been upset with me. But you would have known when I was coming. Better be abiding by the regulations, abiding by the rules. Following the program. I was just, people knew. And I talked to some former officers that I worked with. One in particular up in Philadelphia. He said, look, we all knew when you were working, when the colonel was working, they knew that they needed to be doing what they needed to be doing. And they would tell the new staff, because the new staff, hey, what's this lieutenant like? And they'd go, better do your job. He said that's what they would tell her, you better do your job. Because if you're counting, you better make sure you're counting correctly. You make sure you're doing it right. And don't be sleeping. Don't be fooling around. Do your job. And they would and you know what? I appreciate that, because that's what I wanted to be known for, as someone that, hey, if you do your job, I don't bother you. But if you're not doing your job, it's my job as a supervisor to do what? To hold you accountable. And why? For the safety of everybody, not just for the staff, but for the safety of the people that are incarcerated there. People like Scorpio when he was incarcerated. For his safety too. Okay? It's just the way it is. That's the way, maybe that's why the Lord blessed me with the promotions that I got. I don't know. But it gave me the ability to have a level head, about myself and everything. And honestly, I didn't preach at anybody when I was there, but being a Christian helped me in that job. It helped me not be as hateful and not be vindictive. Because there are staff, I ain't gonna lie, I'll just put it right out there, they'll hate me for saying it, but there are staff that are vindictive. And I'm sure Scorpio can attest to that. But it's funny, he mentioned some names there. I know all those people he mentioned. I know them very well. And I respect some, I don't respect others. So just put it that way. And that's based on their work performance, or sometimes it was their ideology. And I'm a white male, and and they weren't. We'll just let it go at that. Unfortunately, that's real in America, and it's unfair for both sides, but it is the way it is. Okay, Sula, this is from Jason Potter. One of the first times we saw the Colonel, he was cooking at James and Karen's, and he's a good cook. Thanks for that, Jason Potter. I'm fair. I'm not bad. I know what I do know how to cook, folks. Being modest, but I do know how to cook. Scorpio says, I can't say. Remember who was a hard and he had a effed up walk. Oh, the lieutenant. Oh, he's not living anymore. He passed away. Let's see, what was his name? Is it a white guy or black guy, right? I believe. And yeah, if it's who I think you're thinking about, he passed away several years ago. William, I have a respect. Can we please replace the word hate by dislike? How many times do we really mean to use the word hate? Almost never, right? It depends what you're talking about, William. I'm talking about behavior. I'm not talking about people. And it's okay to hate behavior, to truly hate behavior, okay? Hate evil. I'm not talking about people. Maybe you weren't on when I said that. And even with people that were convicted, I didn't hate the people. I hated the behavior. You probably missed that. And no, I'm not going to say dislike, because it's genuine hate. I hate criminal behavior. I absolutely hate it. I don't just dislike it. It's not like a food that I don't want to eat. It's actually, I detest it more than dislike it. But I'm not talking about people, okay? Because hate is a very strong word, and you're talking about a creation of God, okay, that has the potential to be a godly individual. And yes, hate is a very strong word. But when I'm talking about behaviors and the things that I hate, I'm comfortable with using the word hate. But I got you. But I want you to understand why I say what I say. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My eyes aren't that good. It's good. The lieutenant. Yeah, I know the lieutenant you're talking about. I'm pretty sure I know the lieutenant you're talking about. There was a couple that could have been me too, but my walk wasn't messed up. But I know who you're talking about with the, yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about. Uh, just tell me if he was a white guy or not, because then I'll for sure have it narrowed down to who it was. Sula, Jason, yes, I remember he was there with them for a while. I think that's where I first found Colonel. I think it was Sula. We were doing live streams together, and I'm going up to James and Karen's in a couple days. I have to have a what's today? Today's the hold on, folks. Yeah, six. So tomorrow I have to have a medical procedure done, but then it is as long as that doesn't kill me or hurt me or anything, or they don't rush me into surgery or whatever. Um, the next day I'll be going up to see James and Karen, spend a couple days there. So you'll probably see us live streaming up there because we're going fishing at Low Ola's Fish Farm with Gino and Dazzle, and we're going to meet Daniel, Sergeant USA. For those of you that are on there, he's going to be there, and hopefully, more than likely, JP will be there, and we're just going to have a good time. Going to have a good time, and so that's what I'll be doing next few days. Crizel can't go with me. I wish she could, but she can't because she's got to work, and eventually, I think she will. We'll see what happens. That might change, but right now, she's at work and she can't take off any more time. I don't want to lose her job until she's ready to lose it. Let's see. I just subbed to Rockalo. There you go, Sula. They're a little. Excuse me. So they're a little different, Sula. Okay, they're younger. They're a little different. When I'm done live streaming, or watch that last video he did. You kind of have to understand their history to get that video, but they're fun. Okay, Rock's a little rough. He might let an F-bomb and say a curse word here or there because he doesn't care as much as I do about it. But they're good people. I've met them personally, been around them, gone to eat with them, and I consider them friends. Even though they're a little bit different to me, but you know what? I end up laughing a lot with them, and I love to laugh. And that's one of the things I love about Crizel is she loves to laugh. So that's why we're a good fit and we're a good match right now. We'll see what happens as time goes on. Scorpio. Don't they eat dogs in the Philippines? They did in Haiti. Dang, you don't look familiar. You look familiar. Yeah, I mean, okay, you gotta understand. I had facial hair back then, so I still had a short mustache back then, and I had hair. I had hair, but it was real short, and I used to glue it straight back. But I shave my head now. I still have hair, but I just shave it off. But yeah, I had real short hair that I slicked straight back, and it was turning white, and my mustache was turning a little bit white. I had at one time I had a pointy white goatee. I think I shaved that off before 2012. But anyway, because I believe 2012 is when I was the end of 2012 that I went down to Florida, went down to Coleman. But as far as eating dogs, I'm sure some people do. Nobody that I know does, but I believe Crizel told me that some people do. Now in Thailand, some people did. Now they don't want to admit it, but they did because the one girl I was with in Thailand, her younger brother, he did, and I found the skull out on my farm. I'm like, what in the world? And she's like, oh, it's probably my brother. He eats dogs. He eats dogs. I'm like, oh my goodness. But up there on this, Crizel. Hi everyone. Good morning. It's Crizel. Romeo Casquette or Casquet. That's Crizel, folks. That's my sweetheart. So she's on here. She's reading the chat too, and she's saying good morning, everybody. Sweetheart, thank you for doing that. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you being kind and saying nice things to everybody that's in here. All the people that are in here are people that I know, and they're friends of mine, and I want them to be your friends also. Rock says, Rockalo channel, appreciate you, Colonel. You make a cameo in our latest video too. Oh my goodness. Okay. I thought I would. Okay, I'm going to watch. I think I watched halfway through. I'm going to watch the rest of it. That's funny. That's hilarious, Rock. You crack me up, dude. You really do. Thanks, Sula from Rock. BJT, hey, Rockalo. Sula says, Crizel. She's saying hi to you, Crizel. Williams says, like my good friend Gregory House says, everybody lies. We all do. We all do. However, when we're telling you, don't lie to me, and then you absolutely just straight up lie to me, got a problem with that. And if anybody says they don't lie, they're a liar. Okay? But I make an effort to always be truthful. But I'd be a liar to say that I always am. Let's be honest with ourselves, folks. Okay. That is Stone Cold from the land of Oz. The Colonel dislikes liars and lies. Yeah, I do, because I've been lied to my whole life. And Scorpio will tell you, in that environment, how many times you get lied to in a day? And sometimes you get lied to by the staff. But I'll tell you the truth. It was one of my things. I made a huge effort never to lie. Never to lie to the criminals that I was supervising and that were under my care. I was always taught that early on in my career. Don't lie to these guys. Because one, they're going to know or they're going to find out. And then they have no respect for you. And that's kind of a rule to live by in life. You know, if you want respect for people, don't lie to them. Because they're going to find out. And my thing is, if I lie to somebody or somebody thinks I lied to them, I want them to confront me about it. I want them to tell, hey, you said this. And then I'm going to have to think. Lots of times I forget. But I'm going to have to think. And I'm like, you know what? I did say that. And here's why I said it. And you know what? I wasn't lying. You know, so I've had that. I've had people confront me. Oh, you lied about this. And I'm like, no, I really didn't. You misunderstood, and you misunderstand what I'm saying, but I didn't lie. And if you think I did, it wasn't intentional, and forgive me for that, you know. But anyway, that's just me. Stone Cold, hello, how are you from Sula? Stone Cold says, I will let you know after my coffee, Sula. There you go. Big John from Rockalo. Sula says, it's breakfast time there, Stone Cold. 2:41 a.m. here. I should be sleeping, but the conversation is so interesting. Yeah, Sula, Scorpio's got me talking about my work life more than I usually do. I've shared some, but I don't share a lot about that part of my life because it's over and it's 12 years behind me. But, you know, when people ask me, I'm going to try to be honest, tell stories and be honest about it. And I got to be careful too, because unfortunately there's some people that are still working that worked with me, and there's some people. So I got to be careful about using names and things like that. That I don't want to cause a security problem for people. Got to be real careful. And I've had criminals from penitentiary call my son, you know, as if it was me, because, you know, we're kind of one and the same. And but yeah, so things can happen. And that's why I carried with me all concealed carry all the time. Like, you just never know somebody that wants to do something bad to you. Sula says, never been on your channel, Rockalo. Looking forward to following you. Sula, Rock and Jed, when they have time, when they get back on a regular basis and whatnot, I don't know. He can correct me if I'm wrong, but they usually come on Philippines times very late at night, and it's usually a pretty wild time on the Rock and Jazz show. But you know, Jazz is cute, Rock's ugly like me, but you know they're a good fit together. I'm messing with you, Rock. That's great. Stone Cold, 11:41 a.m. here, Sula. Man, you're late getting up, Stone Cold. Must have had a rough night, man. Scorpio, I make a great prison nacho and pizza. Oh my goodness. So you had a good commissary account. That's funny, Scorpio. That's great. How much did you take out of the chow hall, man? How much did you smuggle out of the chow hall? Oh my goodness. That's funny. So like, I can laugh about stuff like that now, Scorpio. It's all good, man. So like, I hope you enjoy our channel. Thanks for subbing. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Thanks, Rock. Thanks for the kind words, man. Scorpio, I'm drinking too much. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you start drinking, you're gonna start talking. Oh my goodness. Another reason maybe why I don't drink. I don't want to talk about stuff I shouldn't be talking about. Because yeah, I'm not proud of everything I did on the job, okay? Let's just be honest. I wasn't perfect. Especially when I was a younger officer. Because you know, sometimes they push your buttons and you want a little bit of get back. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say on that. Thanks, Rockalo from Sula. 11:41 already. It's Stone Cold. Wow, we have a big time gap. Yeah, it's kind of like Crizel and I have a big age gap. But it's all good. Okay. Stone Cold misspelled something or whatever. Sula says, okay, Stone Cold, we just went ahead as well. Scorpio, you weren't a CO to make friends. I respected most of them. Yeah, Scorpio, we weren't there to make friends, or we shouldn't have been. Now, some were. Let's be honest. Some were trying to make friends, and those are the ones I had no respect for, because they were involved in doing something that they shouldn't have been doing, like bringing in contraband and things like that, trying to make money off of you guys. And dead wrong. I got no time for it. Clock went back an hour, stone cold from Norm. Well, I'm glad we don't do that in the Philippines. Sula, not all prisoners committed a crime. Some take the hit for another, absolutely. And some people are convicted and incarcerated for crimes that they didn't commit. Now, they committed another crime, they did something else, but the way it works in the U.S., sometimes you don't always go to jail for what you actually did. You go to jail for what you admitted to get lesser time or whatever. And unfortunately, back then, I don't know about now, but back then, that's how the FBI operated. And I lost a lot of respect for the FBI because of the way they operated. They would be wheeling and dealing, cutting deals with guys and say, hey, you plead guilty to this, but give us this information about somebody else. We'll recommend that you only get 1 year or 5, and they would use guys. Now, I understand it. I just don't agree with the methods. And you're convicting somebody of a crime making them plead guilty to a crime they didn't do. Why not make them plead guilty to the crime that they actually did, but then cut them the break? But our justice system doesn't work that way. And unfortunately, if you admit to certain crimes, there's mandatory minimums. I always took exception to that mandatory minimum stuff. I didn't care for it. I didn't agree with it. But I understood it. I just didn't agree with it. But anyway, let's move on from that topic. I don't want to get that, just brings back bad memories and stuff. Scorpio, I like you. I'll subscribe. Thanks, Scorpio. Appreciate that. Cool, Scorpio, says Sula. Scorpio, I was guilty. I became a con, never snitched, saw nothing. Then you were a stand-up convict there, Scorpio. That's the code. You guys, the convicts have their code. And you know what? Like I said, I hated the behavior, but I respected the way they did things. I didn't like it because it didn't help me in my job. Sometimes I didn't always like it, but I understood it, and I respected that they had their own code. And as when you worked at a job, you learn to respect that code, and you use that code to your advantage. And I'm not going to tell you all our secrets, Scorpio, but I'm just saying. It sounds like you did your time the way you needed to do your time, and you never snitched. Bless you. I'm not going to say anything. Here's the thing. I use snitches. I had snitch, but did I trust them? No, because if they're snitching on you, they might be snitching on me too. Not that I did anything to be snitched on about, but it's one of those things. It's a double-edged sword. Whenever you're using confidential informants and whatnot, they help you. But you know what? They ain't always going to help you sometimes, and you gotta be careful. But you know what? Let's get away from that subject and whatnot. I don't want to relive the past. Really, got some funny stories, but I don't want to relive the negativity. And it's a negative life. Being in corrections is a negative life when you're at work. It's just it is what it is. You got men and women all in a bad situation, a situation they don't want to be. Yeah, maybe they deserved it, most of them, but some don't. But most do, and it's just a negative situation all the way around. And it's not my job to make their life easier. It's my job to keep them locked up and don't allow them to escape. Not my job to punish them. And some correction officers forget that. They thought it was their job to punish these people. It's not your job to punish them. Their punishment is being incarcerated. It's not what we decide to do to them while they're incarcerated. We follow the rules and whatnot, and that's part of the punishment too. But it's not for us to take it on. Okay, so they didn't want to talk about it. So let's just drop that and let it go. Is it about paying your debt to society or keeping them away from society? Both, Stone Cold. I saw a few cases where people were in prison for up to 40 years and were innocent. Imagine coming back out after 40 years. It'd be crazy amount of changes and crazy after being in a cell. Yeah, it is crazy, but understand, Sula, most of them are not in cells the whole time. They're in cells, at nighttime in the federal system. But in America, most of them are not locked up in a cell all the time. They're allowed to come out at times and walk around and things like that and go outside. Not in every situation. You go out to ADX Florence, it's a little bit different. They do get to go outside, but they're alone for the most part. Uh, but there's reasons for that. We won't get into all that. But okay, so just read that. Scorpio, ex-con, honorable discharge, 21-year vet. Feel bad for the younger vets. Don't we all? Don't we all? But you know what? Them too, and most of us, we would come on and say it, stand loud and proud and say, I'd do it again. Because I would. Hi, Colonel from Panay Heart at home. All right, Panay Heart, there in California. I'm glad you made it in here. That's great. Hi, Panay from Sula. Hi, Sula from Panay Heart. Stone Cold says, yep. Back an hour. Thanks, Norm. There you go. Talking about the time changes. Scorpio, the names I mentioned were who I remember. Well, the names you mentioned were pretty memorable people. And for you, maybe not for the same reasons as me. And like I said, I'm not going to out anybody, and I'm not going to talk bad about somebody based on it, especially if people know their name. I use generalities and stuff like that, but you mentioned like I said, you mentioned names of people I know very well. And I could say things that I probably shouldn't say, so I won't. And most of those individuals you named did not care for me. And there's reasons for that. If you all stayed on here and you listen to the stuff I said, you'll know why I had issues. So I just put it that way. Didn't mean they didn't have good qualities, because they did. But there was other things that I didn't care for. Let's see. Glad he's gone. White Lieutenant prick. Oh, okay. That was probably me. No, I didn't walk messed up. But I've been called a prick before, and I'm white. But I'm trying to think now who you're talking about, because it's not who I was thinking of. Yeah, I don't know if that was white Lieutenant. What? Man, who would that have been? Let me think for a second, folks. I got to think about this for a second. Scorpio. I wish you knew his name. Then I could speak to a little bit. Maybe it's somebody that I've forgotten. I don't remember any white lieutenant there that had a limp or had a problem with walking. I don't remember anybody like that. I'm thinking. I wonder if it was one of the officers acting lieutenant. Because sometimes we put acting lieutenants over there at the low. Or we put the GS9 lieutenants at the low. Wow, I don't know. Man, I wish you remembered. Because I can't remember now. It's not who I thought it was. The guy I thought was, he's a black guy, and he passed away several years ago. I'm trying to think, who was that? I don't know who that was. Could have been Perry, but Perry he didn't walk, he didn't have a problem with walking. Oh well. Besides my stinger, I was a model inmate, and programming is BS. I'm not saying anything, Scorpio. But I tell you what, dude, if I caught you with that stinger, you'd have got an incident report. Yeah, I'd have written you up. I'd have written you up for sure, dude, for a stinger. Absolutely. Because those things cause problems sometimes. And for those of you who don't know what a stinger is, Scorpio can tell you. It wasn't you. Okay. But I looked different. I looked a little bit different back then than I do now. But I didn't have a problem with walking. So you're like me. I can't leave. That's funny, Scorpio. That's funny. Panay Hart says, hi, Chris Hell. Yeah, it's spelled a little bit differently, Panay Hart, but that's okay. It's Crezeil. But thank you for saying hi to my sweetheart. I appreciate that. Jason Potter, Panay Hart, he's saying hi to you, Panay. Hi, brother Jason from Panay Hart. Scorpio, we would have liked each other. LT, that's funny. I don't know, man. I might have pretended like I did, but don't get it twisted. I had no love for you guys, man. None of it whatsoever. I had better feelings about some than others, especially if they were good guys. Because I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, in the penitentiary, we had nothing for any of you guys. But as you go to the lower levels, you meet guys and convicts that are maybe they shouldn't be there necessarily, or maybe they're convicted of a crime they didn't commit when they committed something else, or there might have been a better way to punish them for them to pay their debts. And you realize that not all, just because they're incarcerated, are bad people in their hearts. They might have done a bad thing, but that doesn't mean their whole life is bad. So now there's a lot of people in corrections that don't get that and will never see that. Ah, you're weak, yeah, officer. I'm sorry, they just don't have the experience that I had, and that's not being arrogant. It's just being real and truthful. As you go on in your career, you start to see things, and you start to realize, and you start to see some things more clearly, and you realize that some things are not always as they seem or as you were told. Write that down. Things are not always as they seem or how or what you're told, i.e. mainstream media, right now. Let's see. Daniel's in the house. Yeah, happy Easter to you, Colonel. Daniel, happy Easter to you, man. God bless you. He is risen. He's risen indeed. Hey, Panay from Norm. Scorpio, we called the education CEO Miss G. I just lost you for a second, guys. Oh my goodness, Scorpio. I can't. I'm not going to say some of the things that you're writing there, man. But yeah, okay. I believe I know who you're talking about. I've always caught too much leaving. I always got caught too much leaving the chow hall. I got my peppers and onions when I needed. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. Yeah. We were kind of. They did a lot more. They did a lot more shaking down at the low probably than they did at the medium. Although we did quite a bit at the medium too. But yeah, you guys at the low were notorious for stealing stuff from the chow hall, man. It was like I felt I took it personal. Like even as a lieutenant, it was my job to catch every one of you that I could stealing stuff from the chow hall. And I used to get on the officers, man. Hey, because just it's like at the low, man. It's like everybody coming out of the chow hall was carrying something out. And you're not allowed to do that, folks. For those you don't know, they go in to eat in the like cafeteria style in the chow. We call it the chow hall. They're not allowed to bring any of that food out because it causes problems. They take it back to the housing unit, and then we get rats and mice and bugs, and it's just it gets ugly. And then they're making stuff and they're selling it, and then if somebody can't pay, it causes a problem. Then we people want to hurt each other and this, that, and the other. And tell me I'm wrong, Scorpio. But hey, Norm. There's Crizel, Romeo Casca, that's Crizel. Still listening, even busy with the heart. Yeah, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. Isn't she great, folks? That's just my opinion. I'm going to say it. You guys don't have to agree with me. Scorpio, won't bring it up again. Just new here and identifying myself. It's all right, Scorpio, man. I've actually kind of enjoyed having you in here, man. That's because it's great to hear the other side and hear the perspective of the other side, and especially if it's someone who actually knew me from the other side, to hear them talk about me, because they'll say stuff to me that I didn't know, or I did not know how people, because I always, when you're doing it, you always wonder how did people view, like I wonder sometimes, how did people view me, what did people think of me, because I know I was a jerk sometimes, straight up jerk, but I did what I felt like I needed to do. But it's interesting to hear different people's perspective of the way I handle myself at work. And I'll be quite honest, and this is not upping myself or puffing myself up or anything. Most people have said very kind things to me, even though I was very hard and I was the way I was. But most people respected that because I understood it's a job that I was being paid to do, and I had to do what I had to do. I wish some of the staff would realize that was what some of the convicts realized. The inmates, they knew it's your job, most of them, and they didn't cause you problems. And there's a little story I have of I had a guy show up at the low one time who I had as an inmate at the penitentiary, and he's cold. I mean, this dude was straight up criminal, and he was always in trouble with the penitentiary. And he rolled in one day at the low at Jessup, and he remembered me. I couldn't believe it. He came up to me by name, asked me, "How you doing, CO? Remember me?" And I'm like, I'm looking at him, and he looked familiar. And I'm like, "Well, what's your name, man?" He told me his name. And said, "Dude, I straight up remember you. I remember you really well." And then the next thing I was like, "What are you doing here?" I said, I know you from the penitentiary up at Lewisburg, and you should not be. I mean, you were trouble, dude. You were always locked up, always in the hole, always getting in trouble. He goes, yeah. He goes, I came to the realization, LT, because I can't, because he called me LT when I was a lieutenant by then. I wasn't when he first knew me. He said, yeah, and he probably said LT, probably didn't say CO. But he said, I came to the realization that you guys always win. I said, oh, you realized that finally? He goes, yeah, it took me a while. He goes, I was young and dumb and full of piss and vinegar. And he goes, I wanted to fight everybody, fight you all, fight everything. But he goes, I came to the realization that, hey, I got to spend my life in here, because he was doing life. Because I got to spend my life in here, and it's a waste of time to keep butting my head and fighting against you guys, because you lose everything. He realized it. And you know what? Because of that realization, and he decided to behave and do what he needed to do, and because of his good behavior, and he was doing life. He worked his way down from the penitentiary. Now he's at a low level, low security prison where he had a lot more freedom and a lot less staff to hassle him and make your life more difficult. And he earned that through learning and behaving right. It's just one of those. That was one of those success or good stories that I saw. I couldn't believe this dude. I could not believe this dude, because I remembered him, because he used to cause me problems. I remembered him, but he was so respectful when he came, because he came and talked to me when he found out who I was. Remember, he was so respectful. Then he wasn't respectful back in the day when he was a young gun. He was not respectful, but he was so respectful. He's older, my age. I mean, as he get older, and a changed man. Maybe not in his heart totally. I don't know. I don't know him that well. I just know what he displayed to me. But at this point, when he came to, he was so respectful, and you know what? Never caused a problem that I remember at the low. I'm sure he's still going to do his game. And Scorpio, if I told you who he was, you'd remember, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to out him or anybody, or you for that matter. But yeah, that was a funny story. But it was one of those success. I was like, wow, okay. He's still going to do the rest of his life in prison, die in prison probably. But you know what? He earned, and he worked where he wasn't causing problems anymore. I doubt he'll ever go to a camp because of his crime. But a camp, folks, for is minimum security, no fences, no. They can walk away anytime they want, and they do. Okay. Let's see. Let me scroll up. I forgot that he was. It's nice to get to know you, Scorpio, from Sula. I forgot that lieutenant. He was thought he was a drill sergeant. That was probably, yeah, I know, I think I know who you're talking about. I don't remember him having a messed up walk. Maybe he did. Little, shorter, thin, or maybe not real short, but thin white dude, combed his hair over on the side. I think I know who you're talking about. Because, yeah, if it's who I think it was, yeah, he was ex-Army and worked a lot of overnight shift, morning watch. Excuse me. But I won't give up his name. I almost did. That's funny. Yeah, I never acted like that. I did when I worked at the Intensive Confinement Center in Lewisburg. We were running a military boot camp, and yeah, I played drill sergeant there. Yep, straight up. I did that for a year before they kicked me back inside the wall. You have built a really nice community, Colonel. Really good people here. Glad to be a part of it. Thanks, Sula. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you coming back, because I hadn't seen you for a while. Excuse me. Talking too much. Getting that tickle in my throat. Thank you, Sula. I appreciate that. Scorpio, I did. Yeah. Hey, Scorpio, listen. If we met back then, it was a different world back then for you and for me. But I appreciate you now. I appreciate that you did your time. And I appreciate that you're retired and you're successful. And I appreciate your service. A lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of veterans that are incarcerated in the United States for various reasons, okay? And we'll just leave that at that. Maybe they deserve to be there, maybe they don't. But you know what? They still served our country. And I always shook my head whenever I met a veteran that was incarcerated, because I'm like, what happened, man? Come on. You know better than this. What happened? But you know what? That's kind of an unfair question, because life happens. That's what happens. Life happens. And everybody handles life differently, myself included. Oh, you look handsome, sweetheart. I love you. Crizel, I love you too. Thank you, sweetheart. Appreciate that. She always makes me feel young. I have to talk with a young voice. But see, folks, that's the way a girlfriend's supposed to be, right there. Okay? Doesn't get any better than that. Thank you, Crizel. Are we in a psyop? Because I think we are. Stay calm. All will be okay. Sula, that's great. That's great. You must see the T-shirt that I wear once in a while. I still got it somewhere from PSYOP Command. That's great. But I heart at home. Oh, Crizel, nice name. Yeah, it is. It's a really pretty name. Sula. Oh, Crizel, so sweet. Yeah, she is sweet, folks. She's 25 years old, but very grown up for her age, and she is a sweet young lady. I like you so much, I might have messed up. LOL. That's funny, Scorpio. That cracks me up. And so, you got to get me out of character. There's so much I want to say to that, but that's funny. Crizel, take care of our friend. He is a sweet guy. Maganu. Maganu. Okay, I'm not even, I don't, maybe, I'll ask her later what that word means. Thanks, Panay Heart. I appreciate that. I never bought anything I couldn't afford. Scorpio. I'm not touching that, man. He's talking prison talk, folks. I'm both sides retired, honorably discharged vet, and ex-first time offender. Well, I'm just happy for you that you made it through. You didn't get hurt. And you paid the price, paid the debt, and you're living life. Go on with life. Unfortunately, you're still getting punished with the firearms and things like that. But that's, unless the laws in America change, it is the way it is. Just honor them and try to do the best you can. Good morning, Colonel, from Gino, Dazzle TV. Good morning, Gino. Wow, I've been on here over 2 hours already, folks. Thanks for getting in here. I'm probably way behind in the chats. It's good to see you, Gino. Panay Heart, hi, brother Gino. Scorpio, come on. Low is 10 years or less, I think. Well, Scorpio, it depends. That's not always true. You had some guys at the low that were doing 30 years, but they're not going to tell you that. Okay, it just depends on their crime and the classification. So that's normally that's true what you said, but it's not always true. It's not always true. I know that that's not always true. Based on what I know, firsthand knowledge. Dazzle, Gino, hello, friend from Sula. Hi, Panay Heart. Hi, Sula from Dazzle TV, from Gino. I'm sure that's Gino. Scorpio, I wish I could give my name. It would be fun. Don't do that, Scorpio, okay? Please don't. Just to respect your privacy and who you are. Because I might remember it. I might know who you are and you're just messing with me. But let's not do that, okay? Because I'm not gonna give my last name out there, even though you might know it. But please give me respect too, and don't do that, because I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that to you, and I don't want you to do that. Okay? It's not. There's no reason for it. Okay? You did your time, and you're done, and let's not do that. Because if I hear it, I might recognize it. That's a scary thing. If I recognize, I'm like, well, man, dude, I remember you. Now I will say this: if I saw a picture of you, yeah, I would probably remember, because I remember. Whoops, excuse me. I remember faces more than I remember names. Let's see. Thanks for the info, Panay Heart. That's why I love him. Aw, Crizel. Yeah. She can melt your heart, guys. I ain't gonna take. If you're in another country, you're not over here in the Philippines, and you need someone to love you. You need someone to take care of you. You need someone to show you how women in America used to be. Come to the Philippines. Now they're not all like that. They're not all like that. They're not all like Crizel. But I think I found a winner and I found a keeper. And so far, things can always change in life. I always live myself an out. But it's like I told her. I have not experienced what I've experienced with her as far as personality and things like that. Somebody asked that, what's the connection? The connection, number one, for me right off the bat is personality, let alone the fact I think she's cute, and other things that I think about her, when I see her visually. So, it is what it is. Thin white lieutenant. Yeah. Yep. I'm pretty sure I know exactly who you're talking about. there, Scorpio, and yeah, and he and I were friends, but we butted heads at work. We did, but I butted heads with a lot of people, and oh, actually, no, he didn't walk funny. You said he walked funny, right? I think it's somebody else that you know who's ex-marine. He was ex-marine, talk real gruff voice. If it's him, I'm not going to give up his name, but he passed away also. Unfortunately, he was a good friend of mine outside of work. Not at work, we weren't friends, but outside of work. And yeah, he passed away, unfortunately, either last year or 2 years ago. And also, Colonel has to take care of Crizel too. Absolutely. Hold on, folks. I gotta get up. I think I have a delivery out here. So hold on. Oh man, my knees bother me today. Oh. No. Let's see. No. No, not for me. Somebody's beeping the horn, but I guess let me walk all the way out and check, folks. Just bear with me. Try not to step on a stone there in my bare feet. No, not for me. The drivers, the delivery drivers will come up and they'll beep their horn. And usually they yell for you, but if not, they beep their horn sometimes to let you know that they're out there. And but that's not for me. I do have a delivery coming today. But absolutely, Solar. I definitely got to take. I don't know, Crizel, do I take care of you? I'll let her answer that. Let you see what she thinks if I answer that, or if I take care of her or not. Sorry, Crizel. Don't worry about that, Sola. Crizel's not like that. She's a very forgiving person. Just don't cheat on her. And she is a little jealous. Oh, boy. Crizel, OMG, I can't get it right. You got it right that time, Sula. Scorpio says, I like you. Well, honestly, I'm a lot different now than I was back then. I really am. Because it took me 5 years to decompress from the stress of corrections. And a lot of people don't realize, when you're working in corrections, you're everybody. You're the police, you're the fireman, you're the EMT, sometimes you're the cook, sometimes you're the laundry man, you're the person who cleans up, you're everything. And because, these men that are incarcerated, there's a lot of things they're not allowed to do, and there's a lot of things they don't control. They're not supposed to control anything. So if they're not controlling anything, it's our responsibility to handle everything. And if there's an emergency or somebody gets hurt or whatever, guess what? We're the ones that need to respond to that and do that. So most of us have a lot of training in a lot of different fields that really Scorpio probably didn't. We got training in a lot of things that you guys don't even realize, and or didn't realize until it becomes necessary. And one of my saddest stories is when I was working there at the Lowe's. One of my officers got crushed at the back dock between the tractor trailer and the back dock, and I was the lieutenant that was working, and I thought he was going to pass away in my arms, and that was a rough early morning. I was working the midnight day shift, and he made a mistake. It was his fault. It wasn't the driver's fault. It was his fault because he did something he should not have done. He wasn't thinking, and he paid the price. He's permanently physically damaged. I'm assuming I've tried to contact him. I'm assuming he's still alive now because he had many surgeries. Never walked the same, but he recovered from that, from what I understand. And I never wanted to forget him, but I've tried to stay in touch, but I can't get in touch with him again for whatever reason. I reached out to one of my friends to say, hey, if you ever see him, tell him I asked about him and that I think about him often, or enough. You don't think about him every day, but I do. He comes to mind, and I always wonder how he's doing, because he almost lost his life, and I thought he was going to lose. I literally thought he was going to die in my arms, and I took a lot of responsibility of that because I was the lieutenant. I was the operations lieutenant there, and but things happen, and I didn't make him do anything called him to do it. Although I did have the union try to blame me for it. I'm like, are you kidding me? I think he spoke up on my behalf. Like I did everything I could. save his life, you know. But anyway, and he lived, so it's all good. But thanks, Scorpio, for that. Hello, Colonel from Hapa. Oh, Hapa's in the house. Hey, Phil, how you doing, man? Hey, is it okay if I say your name? I just did. I'm sorry if I outed you. I didn't mean to do that. But I won't tell him your last name. But yeah, Hapa, good friend of mine. I consider him a good YouTube friend. Scorpio, you're pretty sweet. How would I forget you? Dude, don't go there, man. Don't go there, Scorpio. You're starting to cross the line, man. That's funny. Sula at Hapa. Hello, it's been ages. How are you? Yeah, Sula took a little bit of a hiatus there, Hapa, but she's back. You're welcome, Crizel from Panay Heart. Crizel, Panay Heart's and Sula both good Filipino, or I'm sorry, Sula's Irish. Philippine or Panay Heart's in California. She's married to an American. She's Filipina, and both of them good ladies, good-hearted ladies, and we think a lot alike. So I know they will like you, sweetheart, because if they listen to my channel and they agree with some of the stuff, I know that they will like you, and you would like them too, because they're great ladies. Scorpio, I can't remember how many stamps I washed. Man, oh man. Oh my goodness. That's funny. Sula says, Scorpio, is that skid marks? Oh my goodness. Oh my God, you guys are going down a trail I don't want to go. But iHeart says, hi Sula, 1529. So many things going on. Gas prices expensive and lots of people doesn't know what they're doing because the governor doesn't seem knows how to run this state well. Ha ha. You're not talking about the governor of California, Panay Heart. Say it isn't so. Scorpio, you would like this. Sergeant for class reporting to you. That's great. Appreciate that, Scorpio. Appreciate that you did your time, man, and you didn't cause problems and whatnot. Ah, there's Rin Samson. That's Crizel's oldest brother. According to what he told me, he says hi. How you doing, man? And looking forward to seeing that new goat. Just do me a favor, Rin. If you take videos or whatever of the goats for me, just turn your camera sideways and take the photo like that, so that if I include them on a video, they go landscape. So take all the videos in landscape from now on. If you can remember, that will help me out. I appreciate you. He got back really late last night with that goat. I hope the new goat's doing well. This is the first time. We bought the male Toro, as Crizel says. We bought him by himself, but all the rest of the goats we bought more than one, and we bought a group. This one we bought by itself, so we'll see how it acts, if it stays off by itself or it becomes part of one of the groups. I don't know. I'm interested in seeing how the dynamics work there with the goats, because I'm new to this. But Ren knows what he's doing. But part of the California where I'm living at, we have a beautiful weather. My son is on spring break, so keeping me busy. There you go. Hapa says, hi Sula, I'm good, just looking for work. Are you done training in Dallas, Hapa? Oh no, at Panay Newsom. Yeah, Gavin Newsom. Newsom seems to be living a great life. Sorry about your high prices. That's from Sula. I'm not, I don't want to get into politics. I got my personal feelings about Gavin, boy. Oh, enjoy your time, Panay. So glad you have nice weather, too. Panay Hart says, we have lots of people here trying to get rid of him. Let's see. Hapa, you had to move? Now, Hapa was training. He was in training and whatnot. Panay Hart at home, we have signed a couple of proposed bills when it comes to transparency and shift the money to something more beneficial. Our state is being monitored when it comes to education. It's a mess. I hear you, Panay Hart. Sula says, Panay, I think he wants to try the president now. Not sure. Yeah, he does. He won't get my vote. Panay Hart. Yes, of course he will. Yeah, of course. And he thinks he's special. But he's special, but in a special sort of way, if you know what I mean. You hear these dogs all night long. Scorpio's asking me about the dog. I don't, because I run my air conditioner, and it's fairly loud, so I don't hear it at nighttime when I'm sleeping. Now, I hope I would hear it if they really start carrying on, but they only bark like that when a stranger walks down. If it's people that live here, and these dogs are actually really smart. They know who lives here and who doesn't. So if you live here, like me, they come up, wag their tail, and try to get me to pet them. But if you don't live here, oh yeah, they're going to let you know that you're an intruder. But no, they don't bother me at all during the night. Panay, the homeless crisis there is awful. This is from Sula. And some states seem to have a lot of money being illegally wasted. You think? You didn't say Minnesota, did you? Panay Heart at home, corruption is rampant. Say it isn't so. I don't smoke, dude. I'd like the military structure. Scorpio says, "Yeah, you would have enjoyed the boot camp, the intensive confinement center, and plus it was only a 6 month program, so you did 6 months and then you went home on home confinement and did the rest of your time that way." Sula says, "Don't know how they will stay in power at Panay when your taxes have to be on time and all your bills, but it seems to be a nice state to live in if it was not so expensive for people." Yeah, I actually tried to transfer to California, and I'm glad I didn't. But the area I would have transferred to would have been beautiful. And there's some beautiful parts of California, I'm sure, but I don't want to live there. No, thank you. The state government is horrendous, and the regulations in California are horrendous. I believe in deregulation, not more regulation. Give me a break. That's one of the things one of the joys of living in the Philippines. There's not as much regulation. And even in Thailand, when I lived there, not as much regulation or enforced regulation. Here, the reflection in my glass, my door blew open. But as an American, you feel like you have more freedom. I'm in Texas right now, Sula, heading back to LA next weekend, but we'll try to move here as soon as possible. Panay, I'm going to try to shut the door again, folks, so bear with me. Let's see. People thinks that we should be great. We should be great of these government, or grateful of these government services, where the truth is. Where the truth is, it was not really given the actual services. Lots of cuts, and you can't even get them accountable. Yeah, Panay Hart, I'll be honest. I'm glad I don't. I would not be happy in California. I don't care how beautiful it is, how many vineyards you got, in the beauty. Now I would like to visit Alcatraz. I always wanted to do that because they give a special tour to people like me. They show me areas that they don't show the regular people. And no, hold on, I lost myself. There we go. And so. Yeah, I'd like to see it, but other than that, I have nothing for California. Although Panay Hart, I met you and your husband chatted to me. Oh, I would love to meet you guys. I would go there for that, even though I have no plans on going back to the U.S. If something happens, I'll have to go back to the U.S. That's possible. We'll see. Yeah, Sula says at Hapa, I hear a lot of people are moving to Texas out of Cali. Probably true. And as Crizel's back. Yes, Sula, he's a very caring person. He makes me Keelik and he makes me Tawa all the time. Come on, Crizel, man. They're all gonna think I'm a pushover or whatever, or I'm a big, teddy bear or something. You're gonna ruin my image there, sweetheart, of the rough and tough dude that I am or am not. But she's so sweet. See the smile she puts on my face. Oh my goodness, Crizelli. See, folks, this is a woman who knows how to win your heart. Okay. Panay Heart, good for you at Hapa, and at Panay, and this must affect your son and his needs. I'm sure it does. Panay Heart, 100%. Scorpio, they didn't F with me. That's good. Sulo, what is Kilig and Tawa? We need a translator. I'm not telling you. She can tell you if she wants to. I'm not. Or Panay Hart can tell you. Scorpio, the union joke. Yeah. No, don't even get me going, Scorpio, about the union, man. They hated me. I got filed on so much, and I got accused of stuff that wasn't true. And when I made captain, man, it was worse. It was even worse. The Union was even worse when I was captain. But I won't get into that now. Maybe another time. Panay Hart at home says we can't even get public records. Ha ha ha. That's a shame. California has this thing. We don't need to follow federal law. We are special. Yeah, they special, all right. Yeah, they special. Special in a special sort of way. Thank you, Panay. Yeah, it's a lot of cheaper out here, Sula, in Texas. Sula, Panay, what the heck of all places you'd think everything would be above board? Yeah. Scorpio, can I ask your age, your wife's age? Yeah, Scorpio, I'm almost 62. And Prizel's 25. Yeah, I'm living the life. Panay Hart at home. I can't imagine is he is going to be the president. I hope we are not here anymore. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine Gavin Newsom as the president? And I don't want to get into politics. I'm just saying, can you imagine that? Oh my goodness. The stuff that's going on in California. Do we want that the rest of the rest of the time? How are we doing tonight on water this morning? I mean, doing all right. If paying high taxes is actually going to what is approved. Hey, folks, I got a phone call coming in. I'm gonna have to shut this down because this is an important phone call I got to take. If you're legal, you can get free medical. Okay, sorry, Panay. It's hard as a mom. Hi, my friend. OMG. Joking Cray, great name. Hey, folks, I'm sorry to do this. I'm gonna have to shut this down. This has been a great live stream, but I got a phone call coming in that I have to take. I don't want to leave, but I'm going to have to. Unbelievable. Okay, folks, listen, thank you for all that have been in here. Scorpio, nice meeting you. Appreciate everything. And I hate to do this, but I got to call this guy back. So the Colonel's out for now. God bless. Take care. All right. One moment here. He's still calling up here. I got to get that off the screen. Oh my goodness. I can't even close the live stream down because he's calling me. All right, there we go. All right, folks, take care.